And we are live. Locations. Properly format them. Hey, Truth. Welcome. Haha, yes! Got those ads real quick. Thank you, Dr. Huladay, for the Prime sub. Greatly appreciated. Good way to start stream off. Thank you. Howdy, Witch Sand. I'm on. Hey. Thank you, Truth, for the tier 1 sub. 10 months. Nice. Coming up on a year there. And thank you, Witch Sand, for the Prime sub. 2 months. Thank you. All right. People seem to really like Of the Devil. Huh. Funny that. I gotta say, I'm really liking doing the little go live notification doodles. I think if I can manage to keep it consistent, which I think I can, because I made that in about 40 minutes or so, I would like to do those every time we start a new game. I think that'd be cute to have those just as a signal for when a new game is starting. Because we did them for both the Sonic Riders games, didn't do it for Mania. And then we did it with Soma, and now we're doing it with Of the Devil. It's fun sketching up the logos and stuff like that real quick. Howdy, hey. Come on, everyone. Trapped in ad purgatory, and let me tell you, it should be illegal to write songs about products you're selling. Oh, no. Jelly, nice posing. Very edgy, very drippy. Thank you. I made this back when we streamed episode 1, or episode 0 and 1, rather. I'm really excited for this. I've heard a lot of good things. I know nothing. And I'm really looking forward to playing it. It's episode 2, so I want to. Yeah. Let's just get that out of the way. This is going to be episode 2 of this game, Of the Devil, Of the Peak, on Friday. Yep, a day early. Christmas came late? At what point does it become late, and what point does it become early? If it's the next year, is that Christmas coming really, really early, or is that Christmas coming relatively late? Realistic Jelly. I mean, yeah, I guess more realistically proportioned than you're used to. Can we get a recap, please? Sure. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let me search through my Mind Palace. Spoilers. Hey, everyone, if you haven't played Of the Devil Episode 0 or Of the Devil Episode 1, and 0 and 1, I am going to see if I can do a real quick mental recap of the important bits from both of those episodes. Howdy, Errol. Can't stay, unfortunately, because I want to play Of the Devil myself in the future, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but I've heard great things about it, and I hope you have a blast playing it. Thank you, Errol. Greatly appreciated. Hope you enjoy it. First of all, Of the Devil Episode 0 is free! If you have not played it yet, and it is interesting to you, go do that. It's free. It's literally free, and it's like 2 hours long. You could do that today and still have time for everything else you want to do today. Go play Of the Devil Episode 0. I watched both streams and forgot everything, so the recap is appreciated. Hey, Jelly, heads up. This one quickly became my favorite episode so far. Ooh. Little announcement drawing you did is so cute. Yeah, I like doing those. Those are a lot of fun. Full disclosure, the Go Live announcement banners that I've been making are fully inspired by Amos, or another streamer called Western Style Guy. Can I shout out? How do I do a shout out? Hopefully this is right. Western Style Guy? That's the one. They're fully inspired by Western Style Guy. Every once in a while, he will post a little Go Live doodle. He's been doing it with Dark Souls 3 especially, and I really, really loved how those looked. And I was inspired to do some of my own. So, first of all, he's a friend of the channel by proxy, since he's a friend of Mouse and I'm a friend of Mouse. Second of all, he has one of, by far, the most complicated, creative, and unique VTuber setups I have ever seen. It's just really, really, really cool. It's got like an old God, it reminds me of like a NeoCities, or not NeoCities. What am I thinking? It reminds me of like old 3D clip art, which I guess is like that sort of deal. Are you shaking a medicine bottle for ADHD or something? Oh yeah, no, sorry, I was fidgeting with my medicine bottle. Right. But yeah, his setup is awesome, and I was inspired by his little go live notification to draw some of my own. Please, please, please check Amos out at Western Style Guy. Oh, I just looked at it. Yeah, if you check out his style, it's fucking awesome. It is absolutely insanely cool. Please check him out if you get the chance. Big Hypnospace Fights? Yeah, it's really, really cool. Anyway, here is my condensed recap of episode 0. So episode 0, you are introduced to the main character, Morgan, who is a defense attorney in a cyberpunk dystopian megacorporation type future. She is assigned to a case where a man is accused of having murdered his girlfriend. And I won't get into the particulars because I don't want the recap to spoil everything there. But the long and short of it is that he didn't do it because you did. In Of the Devil, you play as Morgan, who is a serial killer and a defense attorney. So, goes in and defends someone who is accused of a crime that she committed, obviously with the full knowledge that her client can't be guilty because she is. Walrusher streamed it. You can see those VODs, and you can watch the VODs on my VOD channel. Thank you, thank you. That's episode 0. Basically, a quick introduction to a lot of our key players. Also of important note are... Let me see, can I pull up some character bios? This is a work of fiction. Let's get some music going here, too. The killings that Morgan is responsible for in episode 0 are a series of murders, 6 in sequence, all with the same gun, all with the same exact killing method, a single bullet to the heart, thus being dubbed the Heartbreak Killer. This is a moniker which she does not like one bit, and which appears to be slowly growing out of her control into a movement all its own. Menu screen should have changed to episode 2. We shall see. Let's see. Bonuses. Not bonuses. There's something about guns in this setting. Concept gallery. Start episode 2. No, we'll go back. Oh, phone. Okay, good. I can pull up profiles. Or not. Okay. Whoops. Maybe if I go and load a save? Settings? No. I think she uses an old gun that isn't digitally fingerprinted or something. Yes, for the Heartbreak killing, she uses an old gun that is not registered. It's a cyberpunk future. There's like a bunch of stuff going on with the guns in regards to DNA locks and proximity triggers with police. There's a really cool bit in episode 1 where she goes and buys a really shitty above board pistol specifically to use as an indicator for when police are in the vicinity, because when police are in a certain radius within a weapon, the safety automatically locks. So she uses that as a way to know when police are around. Profiles are weird and change episode to episode. Chester Unmarked gone behind the crime scene when she ran into bullets, so she doesn't have it anymore. Yep, it's really, really cool. So basically, there are 2 characters that I can't remember the names of. I think there's 2 police detectives. There is Reyes, I believe, who is a, like, not junior detective, but she's the junior to the senior detective London. Reyes has a cybernetic eye implant, and London, I believe, is still fully organic. He's been working in the police department for a long, long time. Used to be in the arson division, I believe. But they're sort of your detective duo for when you're investigating. Equal parts Gumshoe and the other lady whose name I can't remember, even though I love Apollo Justice. I really like the characters that seemingly exploit the setting's rules. Yeah, it's very, very fun. And Of the Devil Episode 1, the highlights are Athena. Not Athena. Emma Skye. Emma Skye, thank you. I love Emma. God, Apollo Justice is the best fucking Ace Attorney game. Man, it's so good. Anyway, Of the Devil Episode 1 sees us follow another case, this time not committed by Morgan. This time, it is the death of her good friend, David. I can't remember his last name, but he is the head, or at least the founder, David Asher, thank you. Not necessarily I think he is a founder. Heavily responsible for the technology which has created the current generation of androids. And throughout the case, again, not going to go super heavy into details, you meet... Why can I not remember her name? Oh my god, I'm so bad with names. His not necessarily daughter, but basically daughter, you take her in, why can't I remember her name? Sarah, thank you. I don't know why I'm so bad at names. If I ever forget someone's username, now you know why. It's just that bad. Rich person equals I'm interested. Don't be interested for too long. They die almost immediately. Which is to say, I don't think you ever have an in-person conversation with them. Anyway, highlights of that episode are you meet Sarah. Sarah is now your Maya Fey. They even make a stepladder joke. She is blamed for the murder of David on the grounds that she is an artificial intelligence. There's a difference between the way that androids have like preset AIs and true artificial intelligence, which is something that grows and thinks and evolves and adapts. She's accused of being an artificial intelligence, and your objective is to convince the court otherwise so that she can't be the one who committed the murder. You are able to do so, but it turns out, yes, she is an AI, because David made hundreds of AI and released all of them out into the world, unbeknownst to his company before his death. So I'm sure that will probably have some interesting ramifications going forward. There's also Emma Rockford, who is, you can see a little, oh, they added, you can like jingle it. Specifically, she's not an AI, she's a homegrown robot. That's true, right. She's created with the basis of hundreds of iterations of AI that David Asher developed, but she is essentially fabricated wholesale as her own living organism that is fully synthetic. So a whole new type of being. Anyway, this is Emma. She is the prosecutor, your Edgeworth. She's a freak. She's on the same level of freak as Morgan. She has a whole brain with neurons. The AI just helped construct her. Interesting. Okay, gotcha. Important to know, I suppose. Is her hanging there foreshadowing? No, you just get little phone charms. I think I have other phone charms that I can use. Customize phone. Morgan time. Fran. Oh yeah, Fran, they're this kid in high school, hacker kid. You're taking care of them. De facto foster child. Fidget Tubbies. A very cute little Sarah. Sato Stuck. She was, I think, the coroner in the previous case. Oh, do I not own this one? Oh, did I just buy that one? I think I just bought that one. That's new. Okay. So there's London. Would you say it's a whole new type of being altogether? A brand new animal, perhaps? So this is London. Police detective. This is Reyes. Also police detective. This is 80. Oh, I love that little charm. She is the judge. She's the judge. She's the judge. In the future of the devil, judges are supposed to be kind of like impartial artificial intelligences that are like perfectly designed to examine cases objectively, to make sure that the court system functions as quickly and precisely as possible, and 80 is just a little weirdo. She's a little weirdo, and I love her. She's extremely normal. I don't know who this is. Huh. Sarah on the clock. Necomorg. Try to pet the cat in episode 2. Interesting. And would you say that they succeeded in making them impartial and competent? If 80 is anything to go by, no. But I think that's fun. They also have several of those that use the same robot body. Yes. All of them essentially cycle through the same robot body. And I think the deal with 80 is it's like a mishmash of a bunch of different personalities or something like that. But she's great. Also, they have high roller mode and you get this for beating it. We will not be using that. We will be using Emma Deep in Thought. But yeah, sorry for a very bad recap. I wasn't expecting to have to do one. Hopefully that's gotten you generally up to speed. Cyberpunk Future, it's Ace Attorney, but we're also Dexter Morgan. And we have a little robot, but not Maya Fey helping us. Who maybe does or doesn't know that we're a killer? How far are you in the new episode? I am just about to start it now. So yeah. With all that said, let's get to it. It's gonna be a lot of reading. You can choose to play with, yep, high roller mode. I think we're gonna do high roller mode because we did it last time. We're to save regulated. Minimum anti-trans will be increased. Yep. High roller. Oh, well, I accidentally clicked it, but I didn't want it to do it anyway. It won't replay tutorials for everything. Disable tutorials. You can turn them back on in settings. You should keep tutorials on. There's some new mechanics. Gotcha. Enable tutorials. First question's an easy one. Who's your senator? Athings. Piece of shit still trying to lie to our faces. Athings is our senator, man. What, still? Shit, hey, wake up! From the top, I guess. Ugh. What is your name? Kari. Yeah. What year is it? 2086. What did he say last time? 2027? Maybe this stuff's finally working. Dog does know how to shake. Oh, you can go. Again in the head. One thing I said. One thing I asked. Anywhere but the head. Not my fault he's got a punchable face. So we calibrated yet or what? No. We're as close as we're going to get with the equipment this old. You want to get to the real questions? Or does he need more softening up? I just said I won't soften him up in the head. How about it? Still with us, Hound? You're gonna feel a migraine hit you like a tram in a few seconds. Do me a favor and hold on to the pain. Let go and the Barbatosine will drop you like an anchor. Don't want you a vegetable, right? Yeah, that's the spirit. Knew you were a fighter. Question 1. Do you know why you're here? Not being tortured? Possible. Because you were too spooked to do this over a line? I'm always the right amount of spooked, Red. When I tell you there's heat, I mean it. I know, and I always listen. See? Breathable layers. New Morgan outfit, let's go. It goes hard. God damn it. You laughed. Doesn't mean I conceded the point. You're lighter. Memorize the map. Kept it pretty vague, but yeah, I think I got the gist of it. You're that worried about a paper trail? Objective Analytics just want a state contract for new trawling algorithms that can DN on an entire city block's crumbs in less than an hour. So anytime important terms come up, they are added to an in-game glossary here. They can give you a quick refresher and also gives you a little flavor on what's going on with them. If I'm remembering correctly, crumbs are kind of like cookies, but for real life. Website cookies, as in some digital trail of where you've been, but for real life. Internet of Things refers to... Oh, just crumbs is giving us search result for IoT. I recommend you save frequently. It may be fixed now, but I had a lot of crashes during my playthrough of this episode. Gotcha. I'll keep that in mind. Internet of Things refers to the networked data sharing that goes on between all the countless electronics that we monitor ourselves with. Phones, computers, security systems, biofeedback devices, body modifications and prosthetics, and of course, automated dependents, all comprise small but vital parts of this network. Without IoT's ability to collect, process, and share information, massive opportunity costs build up as individuals, governments, and the private businesses miss out on the valuable insight that data has to offer. And then this yellow stuff is generally a system message or an ad of some kind. One of the coolest ways that IoT improves our lives is through the usage of crumbs, small packets of data containing your own unique identifying information. Throughout your day, as your own IoT devices say hi to other devices, they'll leave behind crumbs as a parting gift. Crumbs allow for paperless identification and payment, and helps the government manage human and vehicular traffic. Crumbs let you see where you've been so that you can see where you should go. Want to start leaving crumbs right away? Don't worry, crumbs are enabled by default. Not interested in sponsored search results? See further with a premium account. So again, it's a digital paper trail of every device that you interact with or come in proximity to. Did you read the financial section today? I'm more of a Sudoku gal. Can't all be as well read as Reynard Diamani. Is that right? Reynard Diamani? I believe so. Sending you the links. Read them, and the rest of the news, too. Proposition 492 is going to be on the ballot this year. You shouldn't vote on it blindly. For a guy who makes the majority of his living operating outside the law, you sure take your civic duties seriously. Information brokering isn't illegal. What people choose to do with my advice... Do you declare the income for it on your taxes? Sorry. I promise to take a look at what you sent over. Oh. Articles. These are important. Is this one gonna give me a quiz? Okay, so these are generally longer, and if I'm remembering correctly, or rather, if this one functions how the other ones have that I remember, reading comprehension does matter. You gotta read these, and you have to be able to come to a conclusion after reading the article. So you need to process what's being said to you and understand it. It will be on the test. With elections coming up, a number of measures related to infrastructure, public works, and funding for city programs will be on the ballot soon. Read on to get an overview of some of the most hotly anticipated issues you'll be able to vote on in the coming months. Proposition 436.2D, petition for City Council to commission cost analysis on public schooling. Sponsored by Aaron Houston Myers. For the last several decades, all education has been handled through private institutions, typically associated with one or more corporate benefactors. I don't know why I put syllabic emphasis wrong. While this has eased the expanse of childcare and pre-university education for many families, citizens regularly voice concern over children being treated as customers first and students second. There are several schools throughout the city that accept students at no cost to their parents, but these are reliant on government subsidies, introducing the potential for waste and corruption, and are generally seen as subpar environments for learning. If enough voters say aye to this petition, City Council will commission a study to evaluate the cost and feasibility of reintroducing direct public schooling to the city. Funding of Atlas Pillar Rejuvenation Project. Sponsored by Chopin, Howe Industries, Wickham. Voting aye on this measure will direct City Council to fund their renovation and reinforcement of multiple Atlas pillars around the lower wards, paid for by a % increase in sales tax within city limits. Atlas pillars act as stabilizing points for the city's canopy super infrastructure and house all of the largest public transit elevators that allow foot traffic to seamlessly flow between the canopy and street level. The measure is generally viewed favorably by representatives from the lower wards, who acknowledge that the necessary construction will be disruptive, but point to language in the proposition that guarantees easing of zoning restrictions around the pillars as vital to reducing unemployment in the tangent regions. Previous comparable proposals that renovated city pillars north of the park have been touted as successful examples, and studies have shown that poverty is down and citizen satisfaction is up in the surrounding areas. Oh boy. Let me take a drink of water. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of reading. It may be a shorter stream, probably closer to 4 hours today. Oh, that's the good stuff. Some number of city council members representing uptown districts have voiced skepticism about these economic benefits, but none have argued against the architectural reality of the canopy's need for additional structural reinforcement. Which exactly of the city's older Atlas pillars will be targeted for this rejuvenation has yet to be disclosed. Past experience has shown that due to the nature of vertically integrated real estate, property values in the lower wards can either skyrocket or even drop into the negative based on which pillars are rejuvenated, and the city is wary of disrupting the real estate market in the lower wards with rampant, outsider-funded speculation. Renaming Atlas pillars to honor local community figures. Sponsored by Danford, Johnson, Sung Ho, Wickham. Nicknamed the Pillars of the Community Project in the headlines, Prop 493 seeks to rename the Atlas pillars around the city after local leaders and national figures, replacing the current system where pillars are given alphanumerical designations based on the streets they are built atop of. Few members of the city council have spoken explicitly for or against the measure, but polls show general support among the citizenry, with some questions about how the new names will be chosen. Atlas was originally an internal name for super infrastructure constructs, but leaked blueprints and contractor word of mouth spread the moniker, and it has become rooted itself in the culture in the years since, despite having what the mayor at the time reportedly described in private as an ominous ring to it. Commission of Report on Victims of Acid Snow, sponsored by Hernandez Lang Mohammed. The acid snow incident sits prominently at the forefront of the public conscience following the Greyfall documentary that premiered earlier this year, not the one he told us to pay attention to. Previously unreported on, while the industrial accident did not create snow and did in fact add acid to the atmosphere, the film's eyewitnesses accounts of the scarring children received that early morning nearly 2 decades ago as they played in what they thought was an unreasonable amount of snowfall have spurred public outcry. Okay, so snowfall that was acid. Jesus Christ. If this proposition receives enough ayes at the ballot box, the city will commission a full investigation into the victims of the incident, including assessment of damages for what could one day be a public fund for medical treatment. Critics of this proposition argue that after 20 years, few of the victims will still be residents of the city, assuming they can be found at all. Others point to the state lawsuit Gendu Chemicals settled 15 years ago as sufficient compensation for the victims, though as one of the conditions of that settlement, Gendu did not admit any fault of wrongdoing on the part of corporate leadership. Okay, I think the one that he told us to pay attention to was 493? Or was it 492? Either way, something to do with the Atlas pillars is the important stuff here. L for the backlog. 492. Yep. Can be this calm. Chance like this doesn't come around, well, ever. Frankly, I'm still surprised they were willing to put up the funds it took to commission this thing. What do you think changed? Nothing ever changes in the lower wards. Is what I would say if I was feeling dramatic. Heartbreak made organized crime look like a bunch of cowards hiding under rocks. I love that anytime Heartbreak is mentioned, she gets this dull look in her eyes. You know she's in her own head. She fucking hates that Heartbreak has become a movement. She fucking hates it. Is what I would say if I was feeling comedic. Don't joke about Heartbreak before sending a woman off into the lower wards by herself. You're such a delicate flower in need of protection. Oh. Yay, new Morgan profile. Occupation, criminal, defense attorney. Likes power washers, lamb chops, prime numbers. Dislikes lectures, felt the violin. Plays blackjack, Texas Hold'em, CeeLo, Mahjong, an evil game designed by evil people, and E-card. Favorite flower, the funny-looking red ones, Licorice radiata. Eggs, fried and runny. Not bad. How about you start feeling analytic and give me your real answer? Fine, in my humble opinion, the Rust made the first move. Demand for the product has gone up, so they set to work with their syringes and cleavers and vans. Mobile chop shops hunting for product to fill the supply gap. Supply gap? Can't spit without landing on a Vitruvian clinic. That was the biggest it's ever been. What mods aren't being printed to demand? Mods being body modifications. Body modifications, aka mods, is a term that may refer to cybernetic prosthetics, artificial implants, neural enhancements of any combination of the above. While body modifications have been seen throughout history and across a wide range of cultures, the body modification movement is differentiated by a shift from intrinsic factors, expression or identity, to extrinsic motivators, job opportunities, technological benefits, improvement in physical or mental ability. This is something that we've seen with two characters throughout the game, one being our first defendant, who had to get his arm replaced for construction work, and the second being Reyes, who had her eye replaced for detective work. Both of which came with some pretty hefty downsides. Phantom limb pain, body mod rejection, that sort of thing. Historically, mods have been classified based on which section of the user's spinal cord the interfacing occurs at. Thoracic, lumbar, or cervical, but this system does not account for mods which interact directly with the human brain. The increased prevalence in so-called above-the-neck modding in recent years has led to several corporations and medical organizations proposing their own new classification systems, but so far, none have gained much traction. Users also frequently search for, can you return mods, can you undo mod surgery, best reviewed neural implants, 2086. Morgan has AB negative blood type to show she's a universal donor, a noble soul who helps the defenseless with their defense lawyer services. It's replacement parts, not the mods that the Rust harvest. Vitruvian, How, and all the others who aren't interested in helping you fix a faulty pump, they just want to sell you a whole new model. The Rust might not always be pretty to look at, but even law-abiding citizens will gladly swallow their distaste for a discount that steep. A lot of modders are veterans, not easy prey. Correct, hence the Rust stockpiling weapons, and in response, the Blue Bloods sensing escalation. But that's just my hypothesis. If I ever get pulled into an alley and wake up missing a kidney, call it a formal theory. Like we're talking about a weapon of mass destruction. What makes the Blues think they can win a gang war with it? Rust. The domestic criminal organization known as the Rust is more accurately described as a loose collection of smaller gangs, sets, and racketeering operations that formed out of necessity rather than any particular shared value. Broad powers granted to the state and law enforcement to address civil unrest during the 60s meant that small to medium-sized criminal organizations could not survive on their own, as virtually all their members could be detained indefinitely if one or more members was suspected of racketeering, under new laws that classified gang activity as terrorism. While the Rust has evolved since its chaotic initial formation, the spirit of it lives on in the highly diverse culture of the Rust's component cells, or pods. Law enforcement officials disagree on whether the Rust meets the definition of a criminal organization, as many argue that the gangs that make it up are capable of operating completely independently of one another. Some hypothesize that the Rust serves merely as a shadow on the cave wall, intended to make smaller gangs' patterns of violence seem like well-organized planning. As it stands, the Rust is known for its black market operations in illegal and illicitly sourced mods, offering military-grade or foreign-produced mods to civilians. They are particularly known for regularly assaulting and ripping mods out of their victims for resale. Historically, the Rust has been associated with elevated levels of gang violence, earning themselves a fearsome reputation that has, unfortunately, limited their abilities to assimilate themselves into other segments of society. However, in People v. Harmonique Systems, the state alleged that Harmonique had, on numerous occasions, employed the Rust as, quote, a kind of extra-legal mercenary force when pursuing aggressive market negotiations, end quote, with their competitors. The case was ultimately settled out of court for an undisclosed penalty amount, but misinformation has persisted ever since, claiming that the Rust has endured despite its violent tendencies due to being sheltered from consequences by corporations who contract the Rust as deniable mercenaries. Alright. Oh boy. Hopefully it's a little front-loaded. Maybe they found the right soldier to wield it. The idea lingers in the air for a moment as I gaze out the window. Windows and neon advertisements galore float up past us like bubbles of air as we make our descent, down into our beautiful city's scenic lower wards. How's this part go again? Through me, the way to the city of woe. Through me, the way to eternal pain. Through me, The Way Among the Lost. Inferno, Canto 3. Welcome to the underworld, Dante. Sometimes hot, sometimes misty, sometimes choking with poison. Always dark. That the official forecast? More accurate than whatever's on your phone. I mean, the skyscrapers, the generators, the turbines, and the canopy. Every city block's got its climate down here. 9 circles of fresh hell. You get the reference, say something. Don't make me feel crazy for 5 minutes so you can feel smart for 5 seconds. Smog of the lower wards lingers on your skin long after you make the climb back out. This place clings to you. Unwanted, cloying attachment. There's an honesty to all human interaction down here that makes it trivial for me to navigate. And it's got a nightlife rife with opportunities for someone with my particular interests. Sorry I couldn't get anything else to work with. Sorry I couldn't get you anything else to work with. It was on short notice. I know better than to bet against you by now, Red. But still. It's sweet of you to worry, but this is a surefire thing. Spoken like a true addict. I mean it. I'm here for business, not pleasure. I don't plan on leaving anything to chance. I love Morgan. She's great. Water break. Avoid the populated streets. Turn away from brightly lit spots. Follow the trail of graffiti and broken cameras, past food stands and steam vents, down the rabbit hole. It sounds more complicated than it actually is in practice. It's easy to end up on the wrong side of town, as long as you're trying to. Reinhardt's map narrowed the search to a lot more than I expected, but I'll be on my own from here on out. Gotta be one of these 3 buildings. Let's go over what I know. Looking for a base of operations for a mid-tier kind of pod. Rougher than a storefront, not as fortified as a headquarters. A location that makes customers feel safe, not trapped. Of course, if I just start knocking on doors, they'll probably find me, with weapons drawn. So if I want to be smart about this, I better use all my senses. Ooh. Examine, scope out, check. The windows are all dark, like nobody's home. But they're all shut, too, so it could be they're just tinted. Alley's clear. Fire escape's still there, for the most part. Could pass for an alternate exit, if need be. That door, and that door, looks sturdy enough to bounce a bullet off of. Somebody's been renovating. So you saw there, you get chips every time you examine something, every time you interact with something. It's a way of incentivizing interaction and engagement. You get a lot of chips if you read an article and come to the correct conclusion about it. Whenever the trials finally roll around, chips are your health, essentially. Whereas in the Ace Attorney games, you had a health bar that allotted you a specific number of mistakes that reset whenever the given day was over and it was a new court day. In Of the Devil, you just have a set number of chips. Whenever you run out of chips, obviously you lose, and whenever you make correct conclusions or present evidence correctly or refute a point correctly, you get a lot of them. If you like gambling, you'll love Of the Devil. Let's scope it out. Well, this place looks like shit. It's more like a haunt, just dry enough for users to pass out than anything else. It's plenty inconspicuous, but a dealer of the level I'm looking for would be considered a made man. Respectable. I doubt they'd be willing to step over trash constantly just to keep a low profile. Love the new model jelly. Thank you, Elicrep. Not new, technically. I used this one for the first episode of the Devil. It's not C stars, but it'll have to do. We'll get there. We can always double down. A bit cleaner than the other buildings around here. Could be someone spending money on upkeep. Maybe this one's just been torn down and rebuilt at the least. There are a couple bodies lingering outside it. They don't exactly have that organized criminal associate edge. Organized criminal associate is the label most widely used within law enforcement for individuals who are members of criminal organizations, supplanting terminology used during the first half of the 21st century, in accordance with changes to the organization of, recruitment for, and internal culture within organized crime. Frequently abbreviated with some artistic liberty as orcs or more common orcas, law enforcement professionals often use related nomenclature when discussing organized criminal activity in informal settings. For example, an orca may also be referred to as a killer whale, KALE, or KW. A group of orcas may be called a pod, while a known gathering place may be labeled as a den. That's pretty cute. I like that a lot. Fun way to turn an acronym into some reasonably fashioned out slang. I like that a lot. That's really cool. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. A lot of pods will pay civilians good money just to keep their eyes open. It's certainly dark. But there's a camera out front, and it's not broken. Overall, it's probably just some mechanic garage that shuts down the power to save money at night. Okay, might as well pull the trigger. Dingy, but not a shithole. Or dingy, but not a shithole. Some secure features, but the paint's not too shiny. Goldilocks takes it. This is my best bet. Why do I feel like I'm being watched? Ooh. Little heartbeat. You can feel that. Hello? Sarah? Hey. No, not Sarah. Maybe. Great acting. Supposed to be the lookout. Red Hood. What'd you say? People come down here to be anonymous, or the closest thing to it in the modern day. It's considered poor etiquette to stare at anyone for more than a moment. It's a faux pas to make an effort to remember someone. Commenting on another's dress isn't a slap to the face, but it is odd. Go away? At least they can take direction. Whatever. Lookout being around just confirms that I've picked the right building. Time to try the door. What'll make them open up? That coat reminds me of one of the Chans, but I can't remember which. It's definitely... I've seen something like that before, yeah. I might just be thinking of Wheel-Chan, though. Character design looks like a human version of something from Hollow Knight, yeah. I like the little... The peacock cloak is very fun. Knock? Okay, well, you definitely don't... Wait, let's see. You probably don't flash money in a dark alleyway. It's polite to knock? I guess so. Yeah, we'll go for a knock. No answer. So I've tried knocking in a pattern, shave, and a haircut. I feel like I should know that tune. No, that would be silly. You know what? Money talks. I have money! Actually, I have a dark card. That should have provoked a reaction. A grunt, footsteps, something. Place my hand against the door absentmindedly, ready to move to plan B, and I feel movement. Shave and a haircut, is that the, Is that what that is? Is that shave and a haircut? I've been doing that my whole life. I didn't know that's what it was called. I always do, Okay, gotcha. Good to know that none of my lived experiences are unique. This thing I checked, perhaps a doorknob palm? Anxiety and curiosity pit against one another by an onlooking greed. How do I enter a closed room? How do you enter a... First you try pushing. When that doesn't work, naturally, you get it. Find some other... No need for master keys or any other trickery. You know what you're doing, doors will open for you. Howdy, Indiongo. Sounds like a backronym type of situation. I think so, yeah. Magic. Closed Closed room? The door's not the only thing that's been reinforced around here. This apartment building? Motel? Whatever it used to be, someone's made a lot of effort to file it down. Hallway is blocked off with chicken wire and stripped furniture. Access panels ripped out, doors welded shut. Took a maze and ground it down into a one-way street. Or maybe a shooting gallery. With blaring musical accompaniment. Don't get any ideas. Got no vacancy. Here I thought I'd found my dream home, Mr. Call me Trey. Too bad. We're closed this month. Wait, you're serious? You rent these out? Trey, April 2nd. No positive. Occupation, freelancer. Likes vending machines, skate parks, ice chips. Dislikes rich kids. Fried food, cops. I hate rich people! I haven't played Tekken 8 in so long. Loitering, 3 arrests, 0 convictions. Larceny, 2 arrests, 1 conviction. Truancy, no incidents on record. This guy's eyes are very cool. He hates good stories. Of course we do. This is a business. Right, and you, see a lot of demand? This is the lower wards, bitch. Uh-huh. Alright. He sighs the word without emphasis, like a subconscious honorific. I'm not honored, but I can't find it in myself to be offended either. Tons of stray ducks will pay top for a site to lay low for a night or two. I can see why. This is the hallway. The rooms are clean. Sure. Look, the doors are heavy, the locks are all physical, and it's quiet. So this is a safe house for rent. Safe rooms for rent. Like I said, we're not open for business right now. Curious. Come on, up the stairs already. And no masks when we get up there. And curiouser. A good mask is like a good pair of boots in the lower ward. Keeps you clean, keeps you moving, makes your journey a dozen times more comfortable. And if you leave the house barefoot, you can expect to bring back something unsavory attached to you. It's not odd for him to be barefaced, but demanding that I not wear mine is... Seriously, stuff it in your pocket, now. I'm just gonna say no. Just say no. I'm good. I'll wear my mask if I want to. Bitch. He says it pleadingly, as if it's supposed to placate me. Look, lose the gloves at least, or we're gonna have problems. So that's their game. This isn't a power move. It's insurance. If this place ever gets busted, evidence of my visit will be all over the place. They're giving their customers extra incentive to make sure this shithole remains a hidden gem. A reasonable idea on their part, but it doesn't change my answer. No, thank you. That's not happening. Again, alright, fucking Jesse Pinkman. Whatever. Have fun explaining to the boss why you can't follow basic instructions. That does sound fun. Watch it. You're a guest here. A guest? I'm a paying customer. And if you try to get me to remove any more articles of clothing, I'm leaving a scathing review. You haven't paid yet. Come on. I like our character. Morgan is great. She's the best. Right behind you. Jesse Pinkman in the house. Through here? Yeah. Hey, I'll get the door. Oh, hello. Huh? Oh, boy. Who is this colorful cast of characters? Howdy! How how'd you find her? Fall out of the canopy like ripe as shit fruit. She didn't fall out of the damn sky. That'd mean Trey opened the door for her. Right? Trey? Thanks, come on, how hard is it to not open a goddamn door? Well, she has... Shut up. The others aren't fazed by his volume. This is normal. The big guy is always like this. But his outburst is giving me a moment to take in the scenic view. Brings a tear to the eye. You. Me? Who else? Get that. A cigarette? It's laced with drugs. Or don't. Love an excuse to kick your ass back down those stairs. Think I'm a cop? I think I'm a cop, and cops can't use drugs when undercover? I could quote them the exact law that invalidates this legal defense, but I gather that wouldn't assuage their concerns. Well, what's it gonna be? No. Fuck, no? Duh? What was in your mouth, man? What? Sorry, it's not that you're bad looking, it's just... Trey, who the hell is this red bitch? You trying to jinx us? She's a customer. I know she's a customer. We get customers every other day of the goddamn year. Why'd you have to bring her in here tonight? There we go. This is it. Found the place. Well, Creek, she's got... Look at me. Don't talk to me. Or don't talk to Creek. Look, talk to me. Fucking focus on the words. She's got a dark card. And Zero downstairs. Scanner got hot like a hand warmer trying to crunch it, so it's legit, right? Dark card, huh? I nod. Hard not to start playing a little more conservatively once you know the stakes. Whatever the specifics of their leadership structure, they're all looking to this Creek right now. But I don't know his rhythm yet, so I can't exactly match it. For the moment, silence is golden. Yeah, but tonight, Creek? All the other shit we're expected to shovel. Creek is my favorite character design in the whole episode. Ooh. Hey, shouldn't make talk like that in front of the customer. Customer. I think that word was old toothpaste the way he spat it out. Translation: outsider. Thanks, yeah, Miller, I know. Miller. Heavens Miller smiles. Occupation: tradesman. Likes horror films, bubblegum, terrariums. Dislikes bookies, gin, cops. Vandalism, not Miller. Oh no, please not Miller. Please not Miller. No, don't use that name. Not Miller. No, no. Vandalism, 4 arrests, 4 convictions. Extortion, 2 arrests, 0 convictions. Littering, no incidents on record. Okay, maybe he's cool. Maybe he's cool. Hold on, maybe he's cool. All the more reason we should tell this bitch to get slagged. Look, she's here now, so why not take her money? You know what? I got a better idea. Oh, apply directly to the forehead. Hold on. Apply directly to the forehead. The loud one, Tanks, is pressing a barrel directly onto my forehead. Not take her for all she's got. The metal feels cool on my skin. Reminds me of a stethoscope. Breathe in, and try not to sigh at the theatrics. Instead, I make eye contact with Creek. Hey now. You can put that away. He reholstered his firearm without so much as a click of the tongue. Mid-tiers, like I thought. They've got something approaching discipline. Mind the safety. Get screwed. So, we good? We're good, we're good. We are good, right, Creek? Threading a thin needle, lady. A lot of moving parts beneath the surface here. Give me a minute to clear my schedule for you. Make yourself at home in the meantime. Just don't hover, yeah? Of course. You won't even notice I'm here. Oh boy. Time to investigate every square inch of this room. Remark. Did I interrupt the game? What's your poison? 5 card? Full blind? Monaco rules? Are those games? We just screw around with whoever got to kill time, lady. Know your stuff. You ever play around here? Now and then. Hell? You go slumming for card games? Now and then. Have I seen you at a game before? Maybe up by the 30s? Sorry, must have been some other redhead. Yeah, thought I'd finally gotten my second chance at getting that beauty's contacts. You practiced that one a lot? Practiced it a little. How's it working? Keep practicing. Love how Miller just wears a trash bag, does he? You doing inventory over here? Ouch. Must have caught you on the worst night of the quarter. Quarter? This ain't a Meg operation, lady. We take our inventory daily. Meg is a derogatory and hateful term used to refer to so-called mega corporations, or anyone who worked for them. There are numerous unverified explanations for how the term originated. Some say it is a natural evolution of the slang word shark, which was used to refer to ruthless individuals or businessmen in the late 20th century. Others claim that Meg was originally short for Megan, a sort of archetypal individual that defended the contributions that corporations have made to society. Tired of having to read anti-industrious sentiment on the net? Check out our auto-censor tools that replace harmful words like Meg with family-friendly alternatives like job creator or patriot. And then I think we have a new profile as well, Tanks and Creek. Occupation, handyman. Likes parkour, spray paint, stainless steel. Dislikes beer cans, water stains, cops. Assault, 2 arrests, no charges pressed. Grand theft, 3 arrests, 2 convictions. Incarceration, 18 months, juvenile correctional campus. And Creek. Oh, negative. Occupation, entrepreneur. Nice writing on the articles. The writing in this game is spectacular so far of the 2 episodes I've seen. Likes, making money, making friends. Dislikes, doctors. Grand theft, case dismissed due to lack of evidence. Extortion, case dismissed due to witness recanting. Pronouns, any. Oh, good for them. Torture. You gonna suggest we put it all down on a spreadsheet? Get everyone to sign off every hour? We got a special name for anything more than 1 signature on it. Cricket case. The Combating Racketeering Influenced and Corrupt Criminal Organizations Act provides for increased law enforcement powers and impunity when investigating and prosecuting organized criminal charges. The CRICO Act allows for prosecutors to link multiple individual charges of racketeering, contraband, smuggling, or other smaller infractions into criminal conspiracy charges against the entirety of a criminal organization. Though much of the law is built off of previous legislature designed to assist prosecutors in fighting organized crime, the CRICO Act is distinct in that it makes clear the distinction between criminal organizations and corporations that may be operating in violation of the law, considered necessary to adapt to the changes in the drug trafficking, gambling, and sex work industries. Before the CRICO Act, prosecutors would at times seek to designate corporations engaging in aggressive market or cartel-like behavior as criminal organizations, arguing that their structure does not significantly differ from what might be called a mafia. Post-CRICO, corporations with legal business charters registered with the state are effectively immune to criminal conspiracy charges and are instead prosecuted through the trade courts. Some of the more liberal-leaning members of the judicial system have argued that this emboldens certain aggressive corporate behaviors and complicate attempts to prosecute criminal organizations who make some amount of their profits through legally registered and operating businesses. Others point to the relatively high penalties in the trade courts as sufficient deterrent for criminal activity on the behalf of either corporate or mafia parties. In criminal courts, sentences for individuals can be as severe as life in prison, but in trade courts, guilty verdicts can result in entire companies being deregistered and all of their assets being acquired by the state. Users also frequently search for How to Avoid CRICO Charges Easy 2086. Prisoner's Dilemma explained, is it illegal to gather with people? Corrupting the CRICO acronym a lot, but his risk assessment isn't misguided. Paperwork brings down more criminal organizations than guns ever will. Give a half-decent accountant one thread to pull on and they can rip apart the mafia in less than a business day. Hey, what did Creek say? Don't hover. It's only hovering if I'm bothering you. Am I bothering you? If you were bothering me, you'd know it. This is like agitprop beamed directly into my brain. I'm gonna pretend to know what agitprop means. What if we check the door? The door is nearly as sturdy as the one out front, but a lot more slapped together. What was it originally? A walk-in freezer or something? What? No, we had an agreement about hovering, yeah? Yeah. Barred from this side. Interesting. You good, buddy? You look a little sweaty. Well, that's just because I was exercising before you showed up. Uh-huh. That you don't believe me? How do you think we defend ours down here? Or defend what's ours down here? I assumed the gun I was acquainted with just now played a role. I think we can afford to break the bank on bullets. It's easy to buy a gun. Pulling the trigger is also easy. Kissing it goodbye. I'll rat you out first chance it gets. Or it'll rat you out first chance it gets. An aversion to firearms would explain the relatively low fatalities for gang-related violence. Big names can afford to buy a new gun every week, but for everyone beneath them, it comes down to crowbars, clubs, knives, and mods. Well, I'm sure you all do very well in your fistfights. Fistfight is juvie. It's like recess shit. Sorry, fisticuffs? Laugh it up. First time you hear a sound a steel arm makes when caving a skull in, it's exactly how we operate. Right. Sorry. Hester. What? Nothing. You're just kind of glaring at me. It's my job to glare at suspect bitches like you. Thanks is just superstitious. Oh, I wouldn't call it a superstition until it stops keeping you alive. Am not! Did I just pass a black cat on my way in or something? It's your clothes. Again? Didn't know your fine establishment had a dress code. Not a code. Just bad goddamn luck to wear anything red. Or to wear red. Bad luck to see red, man. Same thing. Now, you see the Red Hood, then you fear for your life. Cosplaying as her is weird, but it won't doom you. Great, it'll only doom us. I don't think I've heard this particular ghost story, boys. Really? Blending in so well. Red Rider Hood, Shinigami, Grim Reaper of the lower wards. Water on a misty night, end up dead by morning light. Ooh, little ditty there. Come on, Creek, don't start that shit when you don't even believe it. Don't have to believe it to have heard the rhyme. Ever heard of the Red Rider Hood? Little girl in the fog with a big red raincoat? Misted in the crossfire of a shootout between pigs and robbers, wanders the wards seeking revenge? Misted, Jesus Christ. A slang term meaning to shoot or to kill that originates from the bloody spray produced when a modern firearm projectile makes contact with living tissue. E.g., a gun that size could miss a crowd from 100 meters even if you weren't aiming. That's a crazy example sentence. Jesus Christ. No, never. Not even Uptowners knew this stuff. You gonna tell me you never heard of the cyberpunk or the Little Lord next? The cyberpunk. Originally a term coined in a short science fiction story, and later having grown into a genre all its own, cyberpunk, or cyberpunk, historically has referred to a counterculture centered around the themes of underdogs resisting powerful corporate or government forces through digital guerrilla warfare. While the genre has persisted to modern times and evolved in numerous ways over the last 2 decades, it has taken a new meaning as a kind of mythologized way of being for the adolescent or disaffected to aspire to. Code of conduct that emphasizes anti-authoritarianism, community organizing, corporate disengagement, and socioeconomic consciousness. The so-called cyberpunk has become the 21st century man without a name, a wanderer with her own rule of law. Cultural critic Simon Essentia summarized the appeal as thus: there's no such thing as a 21st century hero. Is it any wonder the most vulnerable among us turn to the past for guidance? Users also frequently search for, "Get ready with me Cyberpunk, the 99 explained, are co-ops illegal?" Guess I don't have a good ear for this kind of thing. Maybe you're just not as smart as you think you are. There's the grown man sweating because of a ghost story. How about I take extra care not to walk under any ladders for the rest of the night, and we call it even? Walk under any... Where'd you even find it? Oh, did you mean stepladder? Now who's afraid? You look pale as spit. For some reason, I just got the horrible feeling that I lost a bet. Fucking... Hell yeah, stepladder jokes, let's go! It really is Ace Attorney! Alright, come here, pull up a chair. Let me ask you something before we get started. What was your first job? Waitress. Waitress. You remember this feeling? 9 p.m., diners filter out, doors close at 10. You'll start turning off the grills, taking out the trash, settling down. And then some mouth breather comes in at 9:40 with big blank eyes, expecting you to find him at table. Yeah. Yeah, asshole behavior. Not breaking any rules, can't arrest him, can't shoot the guy. Even if you wanted to. So, related note, you're here to buy. Paying customer, happy to have you. Just read the room, okay? Sure. Jelly Plain of the Devil, I love this part. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome, welcome, Red Starty. Sure. And no haggling. Now, what are you here for? Well, can't be honest about that. Time to build a story. This Creek seems less high-strung than the others. Must have a few years and a couple promotions under his belt. He might be on the 3rd floor at the moment, but in spirit, he's still on the street, earning. Everyone above him is more managerial positions. He's in between crowds, isolated. And he seemed entertained by my poke at the big guy. Putting that all together, I'm not actually here for myself. Truth is, I can't hear anything over the damn screen. I'll grab the remote sitting on the edge of the desk and turn off the screen. That's better. The hell you do that for? It was too loud. You like it loud. Screws with bugs and wires and cops. Are you a cop? Keeping it at that volume could damage your ears. You'd end up yelling all the time. Relax, Tanks. Like I was saying, I'm actually here for someone else. My boss, to tell you the truth. Ha, that sucks. Does your regional manager want a made-to-order heart attack at his retirement party or something? You're not that far off. His son's turning 18 and he wants a party. An organic party. How's that supposed to mean? Hell if I know. But a coworker let slip that I smoked a few times in college. So boss goes and hands me his dark card, slaps me on the rear, and sends me down here. Told me to get everything his son needs for the best graduation ever. That's rough. Pretty lady like yourself shouldn't be stuck running errands at this hour. Not in this part of the city. Not safe. Speaking of which, Miller, stand up, raise your hands. I oblige, but the lanky one keeps staring at me oddly, looking me up and down. Not complimentary, he's searching for something. See, normally, I would never be this poor of a host to such a nice customer, but bosses, right? Yeah. Might have been real micromanaging lately. Kind of becoming a problem. So, we're talking a little more care around new faces. Or taking a little more care around new faces. Tucked inside her jacket, around the left pocket. His eyes aren't modded. Did I give it away with my body language? Something you want to share with the class? Forgot I had that, maybe? Yes, I have a knife on me. Should I have declared that on my papers? Would have been the polite thing to do, yeah. Sorry for the poor manners, but a pretty lady like me, this part of town, guess I was just being careful around new faces. Alright. You letting her keep it? Got you here to protect us. Have to wonder, though, why'd a high-power corporate mover and shaker come in person? Why come to us? Why not cross the skywalk over the nearest, Ikadia? Ikadia-owned dispensary. Cagey tonight, aren't we, boys? The hell are they so suspicious for? Who are the, Ikadia? Name sounds vaguely familiar, but this guy looks like Psy. He does kind of have Psy vibes a little bit. Well, I can read between the lines. They're the competition. So if these blue bloods are being this cautious around a paying customer, I can shame them over it. The internal criminal organization most commonly known as the Blue Bloods originated in the early 21st century as an offshoot of Eastern Hemisphere triads that subsumed various dockworkers' unions. Loosening international corporate regulations and decreasing job opportunities at the time made it difficult for traditional unions to gather and maintain bargaining power. Simultaneously, most triads struggled as increasing nationalism around the globe combined with improvements in border security made the profit margins for smuggling smaller and smaller, even as demand for foreign goods went increasingly unmet. Historians and criminologists debate on the exact origin of the Blue Bloods, and even among ex-members there remains debate about which side approached which when the Blue Bloods became a distinct identity. What is agreed upon is that in the mid-21st century, the Blue Bloods were a significant presence at every major trade port around the world, smuggling goods across borders and exporting multinational corporations by threatening to withhold or destroy merchandise that entered the country. Domestically, the Blue Bloods seem to have been given serious consideration towards legitimizing their activities for a time, acquiring legal charters for business for many of their shipping and security operations during the 2050s. The same time period also saw a cooling of hostilities between the Blue Bloods and many of their rivals, and gang-related violence dropping precipitously. Yep. Civil disruptions and suspected changes in leadership during the 60s, however, reversed this trend. While the Blue Bloods remain a major player in the global criminal trafficking market, their status of criminal concern was officially downgraded to moderate by the state during the 2070s. Most criminologists agree that their national presence is now relatively weak and has remained so for long enough that the organization's broader global leadership is likely uninterested in expending the resources it would take to change the status quo. I mean, sure, everyone knows the Ikadia have taken the lion's share of the city. I just didn't realize that they had a monopoly, too. Hey, get it straight. The Ikadia won't be a top anymore once we... Never mind. Can we not do business? No one said that. So what'll it be? Well, I don't want any of these kids choking on their own foam, even if it'd be funny to watch. I figured I'd just buy a bunch of downers and maybe a handful of uppers. Let half of them get high off the atmosphere. Downers, huh? We got the next titration of lime. Lasts for hours. Yeah, they stirred into their watered-down beers. Wait, new titration? No one's gonna shit themselves, are they? No, not until the morning, at least. Alright, well, I can live with that. What have you got on the other end? Got plenty, as long as I don't mind hippos. Epidermics. I feel like these baby shark types would get nervous around needles. You got anything they can inhale? Well, got a lot of nerve. Fast bump, high plateau, and a smooth ride down. Our best seller. Sounds great. Fortunately, it's in high demand, so I get that he's selling me drugs, but does he really have to sell me drugs? Nirvana. Oh god. Is an illegal stimulant sold in the black market as a recreational drug under the street name Nirvana, sometimes shortened to Nerve. When taken as an inhalant, it is a euphoriant with mild hallucinogenic properties. Metahexfenolil. Hallucinogenic properties. In recent months, its growing popularity has led many to suspect that the drug is being assessed for legalization by the Bureau of Narcotics Oversight. The process of considering a drug for legalization is kept strictly confidential in order to prevent rampant speculation in the pharmaceutical market. However, increases in the sales of the precursor chemicals for making metahexafenolil seem to indicate that that does not roll off the tongue. Well, I guess it's an inhalant, so it doesn't need to interact with the tongue at all. The producers are anticipating its legalization nonetheless. The relative obscurity of said precursor chemicals has made the uptake particularly noticeable. The supply has not been able to keep up with this elevated demand. Shorten it to metahex? I see. English major, by the way. Can't pronounce basic words, gosh. Possession, production of, use of, or trafficking in metahexfenolil is a crime. Even when a drug is legalized, previous violations of narcotics law are not granted amnesty. Hey, it's not my card anyway. Charge it. Gladly. Typing away at his tablet like this, he almost looks white collar. Checks out, right? Cereal is legit, so... Yeah, man. You already said that. It's encrypted, Trey. Not meant to be a one-tap purchase. Dark card, the gold standard of untraceable fund transfer among the criminal and financial elite. Your average citizen wouldn't recognize it as anything special. Looks like any other credit or debit card. Only reason I recognized it is because they got flashed all the time at my apprenticeship. Mostly for drawing lines, but sometimes for purchasing. Hard to convert the funds back into cash, but if you want to buy or sell on the black market, you couldn't ask for better. So what the hell is going on? I'm dangling some very enticing bait here. An amenable bark, spending money that's not her own, should be salivating over me. Instead, they're practically x-raying me. Why? Interesting decor. Finally, someone notices! It's nice, right? It's called cherry wood. Redid the paint myself with a finish I had imported. It's a nice piece of furniture, Creek. But I was referring to your paperweight. Hmm? Oh, yeah, that. You like it? Yes. Yes, I do. Sure. It has a certain rustic simplicity. Though it's not exactly gleaming. Have you considered giving it a polish? That'd be a crime. Oh? Polishing off the battle scars from a hard-won prize. Prize? It's not yours? Something I picked up on the job. Uh-oh. A masculine voice, muffled, possibly gagged, and stifled, as if pained. Seems like I'm not their only guest tonight. Really wish you'd left the music on, lady. Sorry, you say something? Completely spaced out just now. Didn't hear a word you said. Okay, that's okay. I didn't say anything. Guess you aren't so stupid you can't even mind your own business. Speaking of my business, how are we looking? Card's still processing. Sorry about that. Guess it takes time to sneak a wire through enough pinholes that even the almighty state can't track it. Takes power, too, apparently. Battery's plummeting. dark card. Almost more trouble than it's worth. Definitely didn't do its previous owner any good before I palmed it off his corpse. The boss must be a careful guy, delegating you to come down here with this. Yeah, maybe. Not very smart, though. He has no idea what any of this shit costs. Ah. If I treat myself after I finish here, it's not like he'd ever know the difference. Good on you, ripping off the bastard. Woman after my own heart. There it is. Now I just need 2 thumbs and a password for verification, and we're golden. Is there a problem? Yeah, is there a problem? No, no problem. Sorry, it's just something I heard. What's that? The Blue Bloods have gotten something special in recently. Can't trust everything you hear out there. Or read. Or see. No, no, of course not. But is it true? A no mask? Like the man said, you gotta be careful what stories you listen to. Come on, what can it even cost? A couple thousand? I wouldn't know. I'm no artiprizer. But I do know that it's rare. Fun fact, no means talent, but I don't think that translation does it justice. Less than a dozen people on the planet who can make them. What's so special about it? I mean, them, if they exist, which they, don't. If you want a mask, you already got one on your own chin, lady. State puts up cameras, we put up masks. State adds layered scans, we wear helmets. High-tech climbs higher, low-tech punches lower, back and forth, the escalators. The no masks got tech that can't be answered. Scissors sharp enough to cut rock. Anti-facial recognition, fractalized active defense. Any camera, scanner, or ad looks at that mask, they'll see a face. Within a face, until fatal error. Automated dependent. Abbreviated as AD, or referred to in common conversation as AD or ADS, automated dependent is a catch-all term encompassing robots, intelligent programs, interactive holograms, and androids. ADs are present with both digitally and physically in every industry and nation on the planet, assisting in everything from data management to physical labor. In the mid-21st century, lobbyists pushed through new tax classifications to define intelligent machines that were neither salaried employees nor mere equipment. Because it afforded tax breaks and lighter tariffs, the term became so commonly used that it spread to all branches of the robotics industry, from which point it began to penetrate into everyday speech and pop culture. Some sociologists argue that the term owes its popularity not simply to its brevity and prevalence, but to its ability to draw a distinction between the commonplace, robots, androids, smart UIs, etc., and the internationally illegal, artificial intelligence, asterisk. Searching for this term may incur an account flag. Read more about how we cooperate with authorities to combat disinformation here. Forget hiding from cameras, searching for blind spots. With a no mask, you could just walk down the busiest street in the city and break every camera in half a kilometer. No, translated literally as ability, is a world-renowned form of Japanese dance theater with traditions and codified performances dating back to the 14th century, strictly regulated by the Iamoto system, in which a single heir inherits all authority, mastery, and secret techniques of their predecessor. No strict adherence to tradition and seniority have made it difficult for the practice to spread and flourish during the 21st century. Performers wear archetypal costumes and masks and must convey emotion through precise movement. Their masks are masterfully crafted that a single static mask can convey sorrow, fury, joy, or terror by merely angling the head differently. I feel like breaking cameras everywhere you go is not how you keep a low profile. Yeah, it might cause more problems than it's worth. You know your stuff. Buyer beware. But if this mask could do half of what you think it could, anyone who got their hands on it wouldn't part with it easily. So how much? Ha! More than you can afford, that's for sure. I don't know about that. I got pretty nice stock options. Maybe you do have the money. That's not the issue. I can't sell it. Already spoken for. End of discussion. Well, sure, you can't sell something that's been spoken for. Things get misplaced all the time. Delivery carriers showing up the wrong address, missing packages ending up in the backs of storage facilities, merchandise falling off the back of the proverbial truck. You weren't sent here on some errand. Shit. What? What is it? Take a long look, boys, because you may never get another chance. We're breathing the same air as a genuine consultant. She's some kind of Meg spy? I was. Couldn't exactly come out and say it, now could I? Oh shit! Is it really this easy? Yeah, that's real smart talk. Now give me one reason I shouldn't paint your brains onto the wall. Because I still haven't paid for my purchase? Definitely got the nerves of a consultant. They teach you that at some fancy uptown corpo school? Or was it something you were born with? Something I was born with? Probably. But believe it or not, I'm glad we're having this conversation. Honesty always speeds up the negotiation. So in the spirit of cooperation, why don't you start being honest too? How's that? You don't want my money, traceable or otherwise. Only reason you'd entertain a customer while in the middle of whatever bottleneck you're keeping behind that door is because I have something rare that you desperately need. Don't assume desperation or need. How about want? You want the Dark Card account itself, not whatever shitcoin currency it holds. And why is that? To steal from your bosses. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. They're the ones stealing from us. Yes, I'm sure you have very legitimate grounds for wage theft suit, but I don't care. Whether it's for running away, skimming off the top, or just as insurance, you want a wallet they don't have eyes on. And since your tall friend hasn't misted me yet, it seems like you're willing to barter for it. So. Card for the mask. Not even close. The card plus 2 quarters worth of my salary. That's nearly... Nah, sister. You don't have the cash for this purchase. And it ain't the kind of thing you can get a loan from the bank for. I don't like it, but... Not cash, then. Might as well try it. What about information instead? Not gonna say it's impossible, but it'd have to be one hell of a piece of intel. I could give you Heartbreak. What did she say? Funny. That is funny. Heartbreak, the most famous anarcho-terrorist in the country, at some Meg's beck and call. Upgraded to anarcho-terrorist now? Ugh. Lots of people were laughing very hard, having shorted the right stocks before each of his kills. Hold up, seriously? No, why do people buy this conspiracy shit so easily? I don't get the joke. Why would we want Heartbreak? To learn from him? Make an example of him? Hire him? You Blue Bloods have been fighting the Rust, the Kadia, the state, and everyone who wants a piece for decades. Yet Heartbreak's gotten more notoriety than all of you combined in only a few months. There's really nothing you'd want to say to him. Nothing you'd want to ask him. If he was sitting right in front of you. The following scene contains... loud noises. Flashes of light. Depictions of violence and gore. Hell of a bluff, I'll give you that. Thought it was worth a try. Sorry, just procrastinating having to go back to my superiors empty-handed. It was good. Good effort. I mean, I'm still interested in the Dark Card, it's just... that mask is a death sentence, crafted specifically for one very special customer. I'm just the one given the honor of hanging on to it until... sounds like you got your own office politics to worry about. Getting pulled in every direction. I know the feeling. That was a bunch of drama for nothing. You gonna buy or what, Creek? Oh, I'm still buying. Not for some kid's party, obviously. Plan is, we're gonna spike the competition at this meet and greet. Make the customer think they're drooling idiots. The mask was always a long shot. I was just personally curious. Curiosity can get you into trouble down here at the bottom of the world. Don't worry. I like to think I know a thing or two about discretion. I can see that. Let's wrap this up then. Your password and your thumbs, please. Sure. I'll just take off my gloves here. Oh, yeah. I make a snap with my wrist as my left extends toward the desk. Viewer discretion advised. Real quick, before I forget, do you have a bag for all this? Yeah, actually, got a few in the drawer. The hell? Only needed to distract him for a second. Oh? Oh? Less than one heartbeat. Oh, that fucking smile. I did tell him to mind the safety. Huh? The big one made a small noise as he looked down to see that his own gun had blown a fist-sized chunk out of his torso. Holy shit. That's fucking good. He jumped up fast. I was expecting to blow his head off. From behind, a motion, shape charging towards me. Spinning left, I draw my knife, exhale, and lower my shoulders. There. A loudly broadcast haymaker swinging in from his right. Bad instinct. He must have gotten used to those sparklers making people flinch. I step in, and his bicep smacks dully into my shoulder. And as I place my knife directly into his carotid. Carotid? The word? He's gripping that knife with all the strength he has left. Wait, is he really gonna try to pull it out? Ah! Oh, someone's been stabbed. What do? When applying first aid to a puncture wound, removing this foreign object is not recommended, as this can greatly increase the rate of blood loss. Another bad instinct. Oxygen cut off to the brain, already losing vision. Dead. And dropped with all the grace of a garbage bag hitting the bottom of the dumpster. So that just leaves... hasn't moved a muscle. Newest member, weakest in the pack. Personally, I wouldn't have given the new guy guard duty, but hindsight's 20/20. The gun's double-barreled, 2 shots spent, and Miller still has my knife in a literal death grip. I'll have to improvise for this last one. What the hell? Why not? Oh shit! So, come to think of it, how do you use this thing? Aim for the bleachers, I guess. Oh fuck! Of the Devil. Episode 2 is due. Did you know Creek recorded all of his lines in one day? Woo! Let's go! Awesome fucking intro. You know what I'm happiest about? I don't have to remember any of those voices or do them ever again. Whatever was going on there, they're all freed up again. Beautiful. Barely got 3 centimeters into his neck. Must have hit a vertebrae and stopped. Stopped dead. Still got the job done after a few whacks, but, well, it was my first time with a sword. I've never been very good at anything the first time. Always needed lots of practice. Okay, music should have deadened the sound of the gunfire, and that gun was heavily modified. If it somehow still has its tags, they can't possibly be functioning properly. So I've got a window of opportunity. First things first, gloves back on. Shit! Wow, someone's lively. Who the hell? What kind of mod keeping him alive? Cruelty under his circumstances. I could do that slug tear his intestines apart. Pain alone should have knocked him out cold, yet his fingers are limp, his eyes sharp. Paralyzed. There are rules. I thought... Blood's pooling fast. You've got 4 minutes. 4 minutes? For what? Everything. No Meg Assassin. You're too talkative. Who sent you? Fox? Gray Lady? Gray Fox? All that red should be the Rust's newest rabid dog. Caribou. It's cute that you all give each other nicknames. They're civilian. Where's the mask? What? Go to hell. You just looked right at the desk drawer. I thought you said you played poker. Need your keys. Civilian. Thief. Theft is victimless. It's robbery when violence is involved. So you're just out of your goddamn mind. I'm the last person you'll ever talk to, Creek. Your choice, but do you really want to be rude? Seem like you. Take it. Key clicks into the small safe and I pull upon the door to reveal paperwork. Page after page of spreadsheets and diagrams and text, all printed in red. Is this important? So considerate. Just throw it anywhere. Okay. I was joking. 3 minutes now. Sarcasm will cost you time you don't have. There it is, a gleaming darkness at the back of the safe. That's it. You, all of us. For that? Just for that? I get asked that question a lot. Would you feel better if I had killed you for a different reason? If I had a good reason for blowing a hole in your stomach? Would it have hurt any less? You've still got more than 2 minutes. Plenty of time. I could spin up whatever fairy tale you'd like to put you to bed. I bring the mask to my face, and for a brief moment, the surface seems to writhe. Is it trying to adjust itself for me? Suppose it makes sense. You want the mask so bad. If I was as hideous as you on the inside, I wouldn't want to go barefaced either. Hit a nerve? Must be the worst kind of feeling. Being seen. Seen by someone you can't even hurt anymore. I see you. Heartbreak. Yeah, big, bad, faceless heartbreak. I'm just a dumbass punk. But even I could... Don't flatter yourself. It's not that you're particularly perceptive. I just don't have anything to hide when a corpse is talking. First honest thing you've said. So what gives, HBK? You're clearly not an idealist. All the terrorism, rebellion theories, out the window. You go around killing because daddy smack you around. Your mommy not hug you enough. My father never laid a hand on me. My mother hugged me. Sufficient amount. What the hell's your excuse? I don't make excuses. And what the hell's wrong with you? Less than a minute now. I could spend that time making up a diagnosis, if you'd like. Or would you prefer I just come over there and squeeze? How many? Another question straight out of the greatest hits. How can I put this? How many times have you eaten bread? Never. Got a gluten thing, bitch. Whatever. Point is, I'm not a collector. This is not my hobby. I do not keep count. There is no code. I do what I want as often as I want. What thou wilt, hold the law. Is that it? I don't know what you're referencing, but from where you're sitting, do I really look like the law-abiding type? I bring the mask down to my face, and again, its surface seems to shudder. Get it? At least I know you deserve what's coming. I've heard a lot of empty threats in people's last moments, Creek. They're never that memorable. Told you that mask was a death sentence that was spoken for. They called it a huntsman for overseas. Home turf. Huntsman can be anyone, go anywhere, kill anything. Supposed to come over and slaughter the rust. That mask was part of his payment. You're looking for it. Possession is 9/10 the law. What the hell's that supposed to mean? Finders keepers. Forget it. I don't need to scare you. Huntsman, hunter, too much meaning. Lost. Always thought better translation was help taker. They'll find you, lay you alive, wear your skin, then go and murder everyone you ever... She laughs. Aha. What a face. Should've taken you up on dipping out early. Anything would beat dying, staring at the face. Face like that. You mean the chaos? So, a huntsman coming to get me. The dead and dying make for strong bluffers. I've seen more than a few of them try their hand at improv. Time to move. We need to scuff things up a bit more. Make this look more like an orca shootout than, well, a visit from me. Get it back. Coverage. Oh, shit. Okay. Awesome. Weapons are inherently disposable. I can kill with anything. So I never bothered to retrieve one from a dead man's grip. But I might have need for a knife again, shortly. So I'll be taking this back, Miller. Had to pry. Why is it the dead are always grasping? Retracts. Sword was not worth the effort. Lesson learned, but now I have to remove it for this next part. Oh my god. His eyes. Can't tell the model from the outside, but I can make a strong, educated guess at the price range. If they back up any data, it can't be more often than once an hour. It'll be 10 o'clock soon. I'm gonna need something with some heft to it. Skull. See no evil. Well, the bat's definitely spent, but his eyes are no longer a problem. And the sword is fine wherever it is. Not going to tempt fate and risk nicking myself with it. That's all the burning issues addressed. Time to take care of the chores. I had to remove my gloves to convince them I could use the dart cart. That means I handled all the murder weapons with my bare hands. Obviously, I'll need to wipe my prints off this gun and my knife. But I put my gloves on before opening Creek's safe and cracking Trey's skull. Oh, what does that leave? Remember everything Morgan handled? Oh. Better try. The police don't miss fingerprints. If you're sure you've got everything, you're good to move on. Right? Focus. No mistakes. Okay, well, obviously we handled the sword. Naturally. Got the handle with both hands when I brought it down to his neck. Back, I dragged the tip across the floor, didn't I? Shit, probably got Miller's blood on it. That's sloppy. Stupid. Why the hell did I... No, forget it. There's nothing I can do about it anyway. Fingerprints can be wiped, but there's no cleaning agent on Earth that can hide blood from a modern forensic team. I'm not looking to do an encore performance of my reaction to those goddamn fickle bobbies. The card. The remote. We did touch the remote. This is the remote I used to distract the big guy. I need to wipe my prints off it, of course, but did I turn the music back off? No, it was playing when I first walked in. Best to preserve continuity. Besides, what was it he said? You like it loud, screws with bugs. He was right about that much. A little smoke screen never hurts. Return keys. Return... Okay, when it says return keys, does that mean, like, return the keys, or... We don't have our prints on them, I know that much. So sword. We did not touch the card with our hands. Do we put the keys back? Right, keys I took off him to open the safe. Blue Bloods are gonna find out I took the mask eventually, but I see no reason to give them any hints. On the off chance the police get here first, I'd rather they not investigate this as a robbery. All that's to say, you can have these back, Creek. So we didn't touch the card, we did touch the sword. Is there anything else in this scene? Okay, when it says the card, I don't know if it means to take the card with me or what. Wait a minute. That card. Okay, we're gonna... How do I save? Dark card played its role as bait perfectly, even if it's the reason I'm having to go around wiping off prints. I'll never be able to pull the funds off it, but I might be able to use it again if... It's stuck. Freak must have dropped it harder than I realized. Getting shot in the stomach doesn't help with handling delicate electronics. No way I'm gonna risk taking the whole reader with me. Could have had any number of pings and strings leading back to the manufacturer or even the Blue Bloods themselves. No, I'll wipe the dark card off and set the whole reader back on the desk. For all anyone knows, Creek's pod mugged it off some slummer, and they were trying in vain to get beer money off of it. Okay, well, I don't... She wouldn't need to wipe it off, because she didn't touch it with her bare hands. What specifically is it asking me to do? Remember everything Morgan handled. Better try. Please don't miss fingerprints. Okay, we'll just keep going. Can't exactly spend all night on this. Am I good here? Okay. Hold on. So we got the sword. We wiped our print off the remote. Where's the gun? Do we have the gun with us? Where's the gun at? I think she put it back herself? Okay. Gotcha. Alright, then I think we're good. I think we're good. Yeah, okay, this feels... Scene's been set. Strange sensation, erasing your own presence. Sense of supremely private accomplishment. Like placing the last piece into a milk-white jigsaw puzzle. And then throwing it in the trash. It's not unpleasant, but I can't linger here any longer to savor it. Time to draw this to a close. Thank God for the mask. I can still tell it smells god-awful in here, but it's bearable. Rehydrated sweat and vomit, scents full of adrenaline and sickly sweat. Unfiltered, but I'd be at risk of getting sick if it weren't for all the blood. Right. Oh, hello. What to do with you? Blindfolded, gagged, hands bound above him with plastic ties and linen wrappings, beaten bloody and drugged. Syringes. They wanted him to stay conscious. Not very popular, are you? Still, you're not dead. And with these kinds of injuries, you won't die soon. Not without a push. That might be the most charitable thing to do under these circumstances. He must have wished for death at least once during all this torture. Too bad. The bat that barred the door is now in splinters. Anyone walking in after me won't realize this room was locked from the outside. If this captive had somehow gotten his hands on a blade, there'd be nothing stopping him from stepping out of here and butchering his captors. The Blue Bloods will want someone to blame for the deaths of 4 of their men. And unlike the police, they won't bother arresting an innocent man and putting him up on trial for the world to see. They'll wrap things up for me. Hold that for me. As for the gun... Assuming saying motherfucker. What's with the... All I did was tuck the gun into your wristband. Or waistband, pal. Oh. Okay, I can see how that would be distressing under the circumstances. Well, you can relax about that. It's not loaded. A few minutes from now, you're gonna wish it was. Out again already. Rest up while you can. When you wake up, you'll want to start running. Yay! The perfect crime! 3:35 p.m., August 14th, 2086. Like I practiced. Irashai. Pardon? Keep working on it, kid. Bar Kintsugi. It's her! It's Sarah! Didn't mean to interrupt you in the middle of training your new employee. How's it working out? Ooh, water break real quick. Damn. She's... It is she, right? Never worked this close to an ad before. She is unbearably forgiving, so I doubt you'll get sued. She's fine, good at cleaning, precise with her mixing, knows a hell of a lot of trivia. Popular with the younger crowd, I think. This is the place with the android bartender? They talk like I installed a new karaoke machine. I didn't know you had a younger crowd. Specials! Funny, what's that make you, Grandma? More of a learning curve to her than I was expecting. You cheap out on her base installs? It's like I have to teach her everything. Dilly, are there any plans to play Unbeatable? No plans to play Unbeatable, although I think it's well within the range of a redeem request, which, let me get on my soapbox. Well, not necessarily soapbox, it's more like advertising. The short game redeem, just a quick reminder, the short game redeem, which is currently 50,000 channel points, 50k trash corn, is going to double to 100k at the end of the month. So once February rolls around, the price of the short game redeem is going to double. We have a lot of redeems in the chamber, and it's clear based on the frequency of the redeems that it needs to go up in price a little bit. So before I increase the price, I want to make sure that if someone's been saving up for a while and they're close to that 50k, they're able to make that last little bit, get it over the edge, and get a redeem in. Again, we've got the whole month left, so I'd say how many weeks are left in January? Let's see. 9, 10, 11. About 11 streams, I would say. About 11 streams left. 3 weeks or so. Chatter with 49k points at the end of the month. Oh no. Quick run the coin tosses. Oh no. You know, the thing is, Cakewalking, you mistake me for a streamer with an active mod team. You'll find no sympathy here. You'll get your trash corn the honest way. The way that Twitch intended. By watching and betting on exclusively Scrandle bets mid-stream. Trust me, there's nothing cheap about Sarah. But yes, she can take a minute when learning the ropes. Sarah, August 29th, late 160 CM. SMH, no edge bets? Honestly, I don't stand by this. This is unregulated gambling in my stream chat. Occupation, paralegal, apprentice, kintsugi. Likes, Spitfield Diopter, Wing Chun, ooh, folding clothes. Dislikes, mops, fire alarms, variety packs. Useless talent, I can do a full split, but that is not useless. Favorite quote, as you think, so shall you become. Confession, I tried to use Adonai's makeup and broke a lipstick. She's so talented. I love her so much. Grin and bear it a little while longer. Once she does find her footing, she'll have you worried about your job security in no time. Keep it up. I didn't have to do you the favor of hiring her, you know. Favor? Plenty of people out there would kill to work at an up-and-coming bespoke establishment like Bar Kintsugi. I think I hear them pounding on the door now. Technically, legally, you didn't hire anyone. I generously agreed to loan you my Android during the hours when I have no use for it. These kinds of arrangements aren't uncommon. Androids can, in theory, work 24 hours a day, indefinitely, but their users can't. Parents come home from work, people go to sleep, staff take holidays, offices close for the night. The end result of all that slack is that a lot of androids spend a good portion of their operating time waiting around. I gotta go for an interview. Hope you enjoy the game. Jelly and chat. Have a good one, DL. Good luck with the interview. Hope it goes well for you. So the more enterprising owners loan them out during that downtime, ideally to businesses with complementary working hours. There are plenty of apps and HR software to help arrange it all, but Sarah's apprenticeship wasn't that on the books. After the fallout around David's death settled down, I came to realize exactly how shortchanged I was in our paralegal agreement. She's handy for research and rote work, of course, but she barely sleeps, rarely eats, finishes paperwork at lightning speed. Coin toss Tails. Good jobs, Tails voters. Good job. 35k. I don't think I like coin flip bets, though, so please don't do those anymore. Spending more time finding shit to keep her busy than I was actually working. And, of course, I value my alone time. It was on one of those long walks of mine that I recalled Raynar was having trouble getting this bar up and running. It takes a village to keep the world's most advanced android busy. Yeah, alone, whatever. Sarah's the one who clocks in and clocks out, does the work, cleans the bathrooms. She's the employee. If she was an employee, you'd have to cover her benefits. Not in my current income bracket. I checked 3 times. Wait, you're not taking your paycheck, are you? It's not a paycheck. Don't lawyer me on this shit. Sarah can't earn a paycheck. She's not a person. She walks like a person and talks like a person and works like a person. The Supreme Court disagrees. by 13-0. Yeah, well, Supreme Court's been wrong about that kind of thing before, haven't they? Do I hear a touche? Sarah, tell Boss here what you spend your salary on. I have started purchasing cases of wine. Wait, what? Wait, that's what those deliveries were? As the wine appreciates, its resale value will increase, especially if I can predict which vintages will be in high demand. Since I don't have a bank account, I can't earn interest in the traditional sense, but if I stay up to date on the sommelier reviews... So you'll resell the wine at a profit, and what'll you do with that money? Stop it, you're making her depressed. I did also purchase a cache of sheet music. What? What for? Practice. You're muttering. Get it. None of my business. Got a new profile for Diamante as well. Raynar Boss Diamante. Owner-operator Kintsugi. Likes libraries, boating, fast learners. Dislikes marketing, solicitors, signaling things. Collects ancient coins. Pet peeve, web pages that take too long to load. Don't mention speed at which Kintsugi site loads. Speaking of business, the place isn't exactly packed. Well, are you volunteering to help with that? There are lawyer bars, right? Right? Where all the lawyers go after trials? Kintsugi could be a lawyer bar. Yeah, those lawyer bars are usually close to the courthouse, though. Just don't. Being signed and paid, I can't think about what ifs on location anymore. This is the spot that was available, and I need a soda water with all the stress on my stomach. Sarah, 10 bar. Ahem. What are you buying, stranger? What's that? Boss has been teaching me his barside manner. He says that his clientele expect a certain degree of maturity when they come here. And so you're using a deeper voice? Oh. Is it not working? Please, let me know when you're ready to order. Let's go! Article time, baby! Let's go! Someone leave this behind after their lunch break? It'd be trouble if they left anything work-related on here. I'll help them out by throwing it in the trash after I'm done reading. Alright, lock in! Right. Sirius debuts new fuel named in new lawsuit. Last month, Dr. Sirius made waves in the scientific community for the dozenth time in their storied career when they announced that they had patented the process for distilling a new helium-based fuel, one intended to replace hydrogen in combustion engines ranging from personal vehicles to full-size freighters. Only a few days later, they made headlines again when that patent was leaked to the global net. New Proteca, an investment firm and longtime financial backer of Dr. Sirius, has filed a lawsuit alleging not only that Dr. Sirius failed in their responsibilities to protect their investment, but actually allowed the leak to recur, so Proteca accused of allowing the leak. We sat down with Dr. Sirius to ask them to respond to the suit's allegation and to question them about their recurring legal woes. For those who may not be familiar, what makes your process for distilling helium fuel so valuable? In this world, if you're not plugged into an outlet, you're running on a battery or you're burning fuel. Batteries are useful, but they scale poorly. A battery-powered phone is light enough to be weightless in your pocket. A battery-powered plane couldn't generate enough lift to get off the ground. Now, aside from a number of closely guarded national reserves, there are no fossil fuels left. The wells were pumped dry years ago, so after we were forced to adapt in a rather abrupt period of growing pains, hydrogen has become the global standard for fueling long-distance machinery. Therein lies the problem. The plane that I took to get here runs on hydrogen. It produces nothing but water vapor. What's the problem? The problem is the laborers fueling your planes before it took off had their fingers crossed the entire time, afraid that if the absolute grounding field failed, one static spark could blow up the whole airport. What makes helium superior? The helium-2 fuels we developed is not pure helium, to be clear, but near enough. Unlike hydrogen fuels, what we've created is non-combustible. You could fire a flamethrower over a tank of it and it would remain perfectly safe. How does a non-combustible fuel power combustion engines? He2 is non-combustible, but in the presence of our specialized catalyst, it can be ignited to generate force comparable to, or in some tests, superior to, the horsepower exhibited by hydrogen engines. What's the catch? So far, it's expensive to distill, and the catalyst materials are even more expensive to produce. We have yet to even simulate a profitable commercial flight, for instance. A pretty serious catch. Steel wasn't profitable before the Bessemer process. Things panned out for the steel tycoons just fine. Are you hoping for someone else to do that? Improve upon your process? I know where you're going with this, but the answer is yes, of course. I'd be overjoyed for someone to improve upon what we've built. That's essentially what Proteka has accused you of doing, isn't it? Leaking your data intentionally so that others around the world are free to start experimenting with it? I don't think it's legally wise of me to try and summarize Proteka's lawsuit against me in my laboratory. Listen, energy is limitless. It cannot be expended. By that virtue, there cannot be a scarcity of it. You will never have a monopoly of it. And since it is infinite, the correct market price for it will, over a long enough time, trend to zero. I don't think I'm being cynical when I say there are people who don't like that very basic math. I'm going to stop you there because you're getting into our next topic, your politics. Do you consider yourself a political person? No. Are you or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? No. Do you believe science should be apolitical? Yes. So why is it that you are frequently invoked as an example for the liberal bias in the sciences? Science is not political. Science is progress, moving forward, learning more about our universe, deepening our understanding of its mechanics, and that process will never be conservative. Science doesn't move backwards. Calling all conservatives backwards is not what I said, but you're free to interpret it as you like. What's not open to debate is this: what makes something science has nothing to do with what works on it. It has nothing to do with class, or power, or money, or even majority rule. Science is reproducible. No miracles required. Miracles are prohibited. Miracles no longer mentioned. If one person can do it, anyone can do it. And so science is inherently egalitarian. If someone feels that because of that, science has a bias against them, that speaks only to their own politics, and not the failings of the scientific community. Log in to your Review Plus account with your passkey or net provider to finish reading this article and see so much more. Sam & Max Beyond Space and Time from A Small Truth. Ooh. Another Sam & Max game, I won't say no to that. For a pop-sci figurehead, Sirius sure keeps busy. Guess I don't have any evidence proving they aren't legitimately brilliant. But I can't take seriously anyone who guest stars on TV that much. Can't deny they seem to be making progress with new kinds of fuels, renewable energy. Okay, well, pretty sure it's fuel. Let's see. I seem to be making progress with new kinds of... Well, renewable energy isn't really the problem. See, Sam & Max, The Devil's Playhouse. Very on theme. Alright, guess we got some Sam & Max in our future. Alright, well, I don't think renewable energy is the problem. Here. It's about helium fuel. One intended to replace hydrogen and combustion engines. Yeah. Beyond Space and Time is the remaster of the second season, and Devil's Playhouse is the third of the Telltale series. Have I already played those, then? Or have I only played the first season? New fuels. Some of the only new fuels we've seen in decades. Could be decades longer before it's actually practical, but any new fuel has to be less volatile than hydrogen. Please do not throw that datapad out. Its owner might come back. Perish the thought. Though, now that you planted the idea in my head. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Time and Space is 2, Devil's Playhouse is 3. Gotcha! He says the opposite, that energy is available and cheap, presumably renewable energy would just contribute. Yep, makes sense. Alright, we are at about 2 hours, so we're going to take a quick break on that one. Feel free to stretch, get some water, get a snack, brush your teeth, if you are so inclined. I'll see you in a few. It was a very reasonable thing to want, for the record. It was a perfectly fine bucket of popcorn. Fucking 80% full, no garbage on top of it, movie just ended. It was a perfectly fine bucket of popcorn. It's in the okay, man, it was placed in the trash can. Didn't even spill or anything. Just like being inside of the trash can does not instantly make it inedible. It's protected by the bucket. Thank you. Does trash corn beat bucket of insects? It does for me. It does for me. I disagree, then perish. Wait a minute, you didn't even... No, because I went to see the movie with my friends, and they wouldn't let me take it out of the trash can. They shamed me. I allowed shame to win in that moment. I've become a stronger person since. Now, for context, this did happen in 2021. I know that sounds bad, okay? I know that sounds bad, okay? However, it was almost an entire full bucket of popcorn. How am I supposed to say no under those circumstances? It's right there. It's sitting there. No garbage on top of it. That makes it work. It's not as bad as it sounds. I don't need. It's fine. Listen. The movie just ended. No garbage on top or inside of the bucket. Bucket's 80% full. 80% full of buttered, delicious movie popcorn. The person must have thrown it out for a reason, though. I'll tell you, everyone always says this. Everyone always says, oh, they must have thrown it out for a reason. You know what the reason was that they threw their bucket of popcorn out? Because people are wasteful. People are wasteful, and they thought to themselves, I don't want to carry around this bucket of popcorn with me all the way home. Maybe they drove there and couldn't possibly, finagle a situation where they could set a bucket of popcorn down safely in their car while driving. A novel concept, I know. Maybe they just didn't want to carry it, so they threw it away. Let me give you some extra context. This was a local movie theater, and the popcorn and concessions were really fucking cheap. You don't get it. None of you understand. Maybe they laced the popcorn with cyanide. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, dude. Maybe I won't ever go out to eat ever again. Maybe I won't ever go out to eat ever again because I don't know. Maybe I'll just let the fear of the unknown control every single aspect of my life instead of living a little, even if it means defying the expectations of society on sometimes. What do you mean can't place a bucket of popcorn in a car? Surely driving a car is the one universal scenario in which they could take it home. If they were cycling or taking the bus, first of all, cycling, not an option. Taking a bus, definitely not an option. You're in America, buddy. Reorient your senses. Second of all, driving in the car means that you'll have to find a place to safely put the popcorn down and hope that it doesn't spill during the car ride home. Floor, not on the road that street was that theater was on. Nope. The worst street I legally know of is where that theater was. Seat with seatbelt. You're gonna put a seatbelt around a bucket of popcorn? That might work. Hold on, that might work. How fucking hard are you cornering? It's not about the corners, it's about the roads. Anyway, it's Chandel time. We're starting off with Chandel. That's what cup holders are. I'm sorry, you have cup holders big enough for an entire bucket of fucking popcorn? All right, Rockefeller, I want to see what fucking steam engine you're working with. That you got a bucket of popcorn-sized cup holder. Anyway, we're gonna start with Quantum Moon Chan. Not Merrick, not Outer Wilds. 2020. Fuck, it's another one fan art Chandy. Oh my fucking god. Another one fan art Chandy for today's channel. Jesus, man. Okay, is it from Persona 3? Is it... It's not gonna be Crane Chan. Let's go for Examcoon so that we can get Crystal out of the way as well. Not Crystal is not Persona 3 is 2025 and has 1 fan art. God damn it. Okay. Shit. Okay. Have you asked Joe about Popcorn Misadventure? He has experience with dangerous food consumption, allegedly. He definitely is engaged with this on the Discord a while ago. Okay, let's see. It is 2025. It has 1 fan art. This isn't going to be it, but we're going to say it just because it'll get us into Umineko. It's not Umineko. Interesting. Okay. So it is 2025, and we made this during April Fools, or before April Fools. Did he support your position on it? What do you think? The man's a coward who won't even eat berries off of a bush. Need I say more? 2025. Okay, is this... You would eat berries off of a bush? Brother, I ate honeysuckle off of bushes when I was a kid. Yeah, I would eat random fruit. Why not? I already have Crohn's. It's not like anything I put in there is going to have a good reaction. Okay, is this... We're going to go for Blanket Chan, just to get that whole... So it's not a Stream Chan. That's good. It's not a Stream Chan. Fuck, that doesn't really help me. What did Joe stream in 2025 before... Is it Kegel Chan? No. Kegel has 3 fan arts? What the fuck? 3? Oh my god. Okay, not Returnal. What did Joe even stream last year? Before April Fools? Double Exposure was 2024. I don't even remember what he streamed. He came back with 9 souls. It's not Talus Chan. It's not Persona 3. It's not Umineko. Metal Gear? No, it's before... This is before April Fools. So it's gonna be we've got 4 months to work with. Theoretically, that should make this very easy. Balatro? Balatro would be counted as, what is it? Balatro would have been counted as, 2024. Is it one of the chest chans? Is it extravagant? No? Okay, so those didn't exist yet. Those didn't exist yet, because Joe didn't start Baldur's Gate 3 until halfway through Umineko, I think. Or did he come back to Baldur's Gate 3 after halfway through Umineko? I can't remember. Because we don't have Rustic or Extravagant Chest Chan. Is there a Simsy Chan that I can think of that would maybe give us some grounding? No, I don't think so. 9 Souls. The only 9 Souls Chan was Talus Chan. And that's Merrick. We know it's not Merrick, and Talus Chan had more than 1 fan art. I'm gonna need a hint on this one. Second letter of the Chan's name is E. I don't really like that one. Shura. Okay, I don't know who that is, so that's not going to help me. Astrobot? Let's see. It's not Astrobot. Christ, what game is this from? What? Played Astrobot? I mean, I'm gonna go Talus Chan just to see if it's 9 souls. And 9 souls, we're counting 9 souls as 2024? These one image, yeah, the one image Chandies are kind of difficult. When was Signalis streamed? I don't know, but there were no Chans during Signalis. Christ, what game? It is Baldur's Gate 3? One Chan art Andy, or 1 fan art Chandy. during Baldur's Gate 3. Is it Gale? It's not Gale. I don't even remember what chans there were during Baldur's Gate 3. All I really remember for Baldur's Gate 3 chans were genuinely just Simsy's chests. Which those are hard to forget, generally speaking. The Censored Chan? Okay. Okay, Censored Chan. In expectation of Censored becoming a Chan, this isn't even a Chan! This is the concept of a Chan being created! Why is this tagged Censored Chan? What are you doing here, Boulder? This isn't even a Chan! This is preemptive chanting to the highest degree! I'm gonna take you to fucking court for this one! What are you doing? What is this? What are you doing? This will not stand in a court of law. You will be found guilty by a jury of your peers for this shit. Mark my fucking words. You literally went through the spreadsheet. I was just given the spreadsheet, man. You okayed this? I didn't okay all of it. Some of it you did. This one must have slipped by me. I take no responsibility for this non-existence of a Chan. It is a nice fan out there. Thank you, Shura. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable. Let's get Scrandal open. Got a bad taste in my mouth. Maybe some good food will get rid of it. All right. Can we choose it? I certainly hope we, Scran. You're terrifying when you're mad? Thank you. I try. Lock in. All right, we got a battle of the asshole. Oh, fuck, it's Friday. Oh, no. Oh, no, is it all jerk chicken? Oh, no, is it mean Scrandal today? Is it all jerk chicken? Fuck, I forgot it was Friday. Oh, I forgot it was Friday. Oh, no. Fuck. Okay. This one is really uninspiring. This one does nothing for me. It's drowning in sauce. This one's got some Greek salad on top of it, I suppose, with jalapeno. I'm going for the right one. Jerk chicken and rice. This looks like a more substantive meal for more. You get more for your money. 89. I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, fuck. It's all jerk chicken. It's all jerk chicken. Oh, no. Fuck. Okay. Now, here's the question that we need to ask ourselves. Does the Scrandal voter base know that the charred bits are love, that this is flavor? Or do they, that rice looks kind of gross, right? Just the vibe check on the rice was all I needed. Jerk chicken with rice and peas and coleslaw. Are the peas in the room with us? I certainly hope not. Or jerk chicken and rice. I'm gonna be honest with you, the presentation on this one's kind of shit. You got it all spilling out. This one looks better. It's got a nice color to it. I'm not a fan of the slaw, but you know what? I'd try it, and it'd probably be good. Left. Okay, all right. Why is the rice pink? That's the coleslaw, not the rice. Jerk chicken and rice. Nice charred bits, some good, looks like red beans and rice. And jerk chicken salad? A jerk chicken salad? I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sure that's awesome, okay? I'm sure a jerk chicken salad fucking goes hard. Salad is antithetical to the ideology of Scran, however. Left. Jerk chicken and cornbread fritters, or jerk chicken plantain. This just looks fucking awesome. This just looks awesome. I'm sorry. This is fine. This looks awesome. 92. 92 for sure. Okay. This one has no love. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is just like a bully chicken. It's not even a jerk. This is like Jagoff chicken. It's just like, it's not even mean enough to be considered a jerk. No char, barely any char. The sauce looks watery. Plain white rice. Did you even care? Left. Are you serious right now? Really? I refuse to accept that. Jerk chicken and rice, no price data. Ideologically, I disagree. However, it looks good for no price data. Left. Okay, well, we know this one sucks. This one only got like 60 something. Do we think that this got better than 60? It looks kind of like a mess. It does look pretty good though. Fuck. Left. Okay, never mind. This was way higher than I thought. Do you think Gordon Ramsay has played this? I don't respect the opinions of Gordon Ramsay. I saw that grilled cheese he made. Fuck, man. This one's more expensive, but look at that shit, dude. Look at that. Fucking look at that and tell me you wouldn't devour that. I'd eat the fucking bones. Jerk chicken poutine or jerk chicken with rice? It's Canadian poutine and it's jerk chicken. Jelly, it was boneless chicken? Yeah. Why do you think it was boneless? Left's not really inspiring a lot. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look, I'm going right. The bone looks kind of right. Damn. Damn. Oh, if I got a perfect scran on a Friday, I'd be fucking christened in the halls of St. Scrandilio for the rest of my fucking life. Oh my God. The fucking jerk chicken sleuth over here. I thought of it, so I have to say it. The jerk cock dick. Let's go. All right. The what? Oh, the jerk cock dick. I hope that helps. You've been throwing too much and think this is pop-off worthy? I'm sorry, I'd like to see you get a fucking 9 out of 10 scran on a Friday. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, so there's this funny thing in English where some words can mean the same thing but be different, like different words can have the same meaning. So we're using the jerk from jerk chicken. We're using cock as a replacement for chicken because chickens are sometimes called cocks. That's where cock-a-doodle-doo comes from. Anyway, so it's jerk cock instead of chicken, and then detectives are sometimes referred to as dicks. So it's jerk cock dick. Hopefully this helps. Language is fun, isn't it? All right. Dick jerk cock flows off the tongue a little better. I don't know. It is important to consider the tongue action, though. You're right. Now I'm just thinking of that one Family Feud guy. We're gonna dawdle just a little more. Not like I'm keeping the other customers waiting. Okay, where were we? Inspect. Ryan must have searched for months to find affordable underground real estate that wasn't flooded, or already filled to the brim with server farms. Putting Sarah on cleaning duty was a good call. Any of the tiling here starts to grime up, start feeling like a subway station bathroom real fast. Peruse. It's a well-stocked bar. Got tea and coffee, too, if that's what you're into. Nice ambience, soft lighting, warm on a chill night, and cool on a hot day. Now all that's left to do is wait for the customers to stream in. Any day now. The menu music for this is similar to Danganronpa, or a similar game. Kind of working with similar vibes, definitely. Inspired by it to some degree. Says the guy who's never played Danganronpa, but will certainly be forced to do so in the future. Cat? It's a lucky cat. Yeah. You say something, Adonai? No. I suddenly got the strong impression that there was something you wanted to say. Don't know what you're talking about. As you say, Neko unlocked? I think I'm ready to order. Neko unlocked? Oh! Oh, Jesus Christ, how horrifying! Oh my god! Oh, good heavens! But in you... Of course. I'll take this, Sarah. Go wipe off the tables for a bit. No one has sat at them since I last cleaned them. Then pretend to clean them like a normal employee. Understood. Got you so tense. Take a wild guess. Did Sarah ask for a raise? Be serious, Red. What happened last night? Your information was accurate, for the most part. A lot of mid-level blue bloods had it. Seems like they were told to sit on it. And were they willing to sell? Nope. Laughed at my price, called me a spoiled Meg, and kicked my butt out the door. You weren't curious where you got your information from? Honestly, no. They rushed me out of there pretty fast once they heard my offer. Were they expecting more company? I got the impression they had work to get back to. Okay. Anything else I should know? No? Anything you want to ask me? How did you two meet? The tables. Oh shit? New music? On my second day, you told me not to over-polish them in order to keep things lofty. Lo-fi. Is it that inappropriate of a question? You have lived in the city for decades, boss, but Adonai didn't move here until she started her apprenticeship at Masters and... I'm gonna tell people my whole life story at every possible opportunity. I'll just shred my resume and start mailing you around instead. We met, huh? That's the story. That story's not very good. I'll skip to the end and cut to the heart of our relationship, Sarah. I paid Raynar a finder's fee, and he tells me where I can get into high-stakes poker games. Not a lie. Now you know my terrible secret. Disappointed? It's not illegal to gamble. I don't go on my phone and wager my paycheck stubs on point spreads. I gamble. And since I can't afford the entrance fees for one of those anonymous, masked ball, cult vibe, blimp casinos the rich go to, I count on your boss here to find me tables to play at. Guilty. So you travel the lower wards to gamble illegally. Truth be told, I've had my suspicions. Seeing you go out at such odd hours without so much as your phone. You gonna turn me in? A customer! Irashai! Or is it more firm? Irashai? Two firm-looking men in finely pressed black suits, with shades tinted so dark they must need modded eyes to see from behind them. Despite the subtle color palette, they stand out. It's hard not to in clothes that look that expensive. Clothes with some kind of pin on them. Matching pins. Suit noir. Shades slick. More emphasis on the raw. Oh, thank you. Dark-tinted shades, they glow yellow. Shh! Shh! It's called presentation. This is a Homestuck bit? Possibly, yes. I think I just heard the delivery drones bumping around outside, Sarah. Would you check out the back? Your vintages might have arrived. Go on. Please excuse me, then. Afternoon, then, gentlemen. What can I do for you? Mr. Diamani. Pardon us for dropping in without first making an appointment. No trouble at all. Still getting the place cleaned up. I'm awfully embarrassed that I failed to realize the property lay within your borders. If you'd come with me to the back, I'd be happy to settle whatever debt. You look like petty landlords to you. If you owed us tribute, you'd know it by now. My mistake. Well, if you're here for information, I'll gladly wheel and deal. How about you? We're not here to shop, either. We're here looking for Morgan. Well? That name ring any bells, Mr. Diamani? Right. Listen, boys, I'm not sure. Sorry. Had something blaring in my earbud. I'm A. Morgan, Esquire specifically. How can I be of service? I mostly practice criminal defense, but I do offer a few other services. You two look corporate. Recommend some good workplace attorneys. I've got a business card somewhere. We're not interested in that. Of course not. Well, I'm flattered that you come all the way here to find me. You must have already tried the home office. We can set something up for... You need to come with us now, ma'am. I thought you said there was nothing I needed to know. Business day's over for me, gentlemen. Can this matter wait until tomorrow? Does it look like it can? Great manners, this one. Time sensitive, then. My rate will have to reflect that. Send us the bill. We can afford it. Music to any lawyer's ears. So, who is we, then? Think you're funny? Compared to you. Morgan! These fine gentlemen are from House Icaria. On occasion, information you went out of your way to collect in previous episodes will unlock new dialogue. It pays to stay informed. I'm familiar. You are. I've seen their name in the papers. Plastering their name all over uptown opera houses and homes for the sick or whatever. I didn't recognize the name when those blue bloods were cursing it last night, so maybe that propaganda's working. No matter how generous they are at galas, they're still the richest and most powerful criminal organization in the city. Rich and powerful, why bother with a criminal qualifier? Ahem! Sorry, might I ask about the nature of this engagement? Situation is developing, Mr. Diamani. We appreciate your patience. That's not what you want to hear. So I gathered. Your presence has been requested at the family estate, ma'am. For business, or... The Icaria are always business. Shall we get you your coat? Such gentlemen. Knew those suits weren't just for show. I can see myself out just fine, though. Adonai, what's going on? Are you going somewhere? That's why they pay me the big bucks. These men are very athletic. Perhaps I should come with you. If they want to arm wrestle, you'll be the first to know. Call me when you get there, yeah? I'm actually in danger. I won't even be conscious when I arrive, but I appreciate the thought. A little weird that they just have two randos, so I think they're just meant to be henchmen for now. Maybe we'll see them filled out a little more later. Boss? Who were those men, really? New clients for Morgan, really. Hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. Because if House Icaria puts her on retainer, she'll be able to buy you as much wine as you like. But what do you mean by house? Despite the fact that their eyewear is quite opaque, Shade Slick is a very... Sorry, you got me stunlocked the phrasing here, but I think you're saying it's a very transparent reference. It is, yeah. Alright, pay attention. I'm gonna lecture, might as well try to teach. Start with ice. Doing a lot of it, but low surface area, so never use crushed, okay? Starts to melt into the liquor, waters the whole thing down. Understood. 1.5 ounces of vodka. What do we look for in good vodka? Smoothness. Correct. It's the mark of quality. Makes the bitter go down easy. So, the nobility. You know what that is? Historically, the ruling class, as enforced through economic or military might, and maintained by familial relations. Use of a full lime for a little spring and a consistent color across the skin. Nobility. Old money is another word for it. And the older it is, the slower it moves. Only so much wealth you could accrue in one lifetime, collecting serfs and selling horses. But the Industrial Revolution comes along, shows the world what real wealth acquisition looks like, then we get new money. It always dwarfs old money. Inflation and split inheritances shave away at any generational wealth that's liquid. We do this in episode 1 with Morgan versus Emma day 1 and episode 2 with this convo. It's very fun, yeah. Now, new money and old money, they don't like each other. Doesn't new money eventually become old money? The old money can't help it. No one ever becomes old money. Triple sec, 1 ounce. My family was new money. Tried to make the transition, join the right clubs, shake the right hands, make the right marriages. Laugh at the bad jokes. Bad jokes can be entertaining in their own right. Not the kind of bad I'm talking about. I don't understand. That's alright. You shouldn't need to know. But what do you mean your family was new money? Times changed. About 30 years ago, recession, depression, civil unrest, political upheaval. Most people, they were so scared they could barely think about tomorrow, let alone next year. But a decent man's chaos is a cruel man's investment opportunity. So while everyone was panic selling off everything they could to buy food and water, a certain type of personality was buying. Pennies on the dollar, as it were. Give me a feel from that line. Shallow as possible. Any white you see is just bitter. 1 ounce of gin. They were rough years, but they passed. At the end of it all, someone left standing with a lot more than they came in with. New money. A new kind of money. The new nobility. Neobility, if you're writing a think piece. Neobility meaning slang for nouveau riche. Families that arose in the second half of the 21st century amid global economic turmoil. The name carries a negative connotation and is meant to criticize the way said families supposedly style themselves as nobility, or even as a second estate that administers global power alongside the first governments and third corporations. Users also frequently search for who are neobility families, how to marry into wealth, define nouveau. Unabashed oligarchs and devourer barons. The governments of the world tried to re-privatize the industry they had taken over with emergency powers. They were there to snatch them. They started at the bottom. Steel, fuel, grain, machine parts, medicine. Here enters House Icaria. Jelly, if you were also a skilled cocktail guesser, could you then be a cock and jerk cock dick? I suppose it's possible. It's definitely on the table. And if it's under the table, that's an entirely different thing, which certainly wouldn't be allowed on Mouse's stream. Well, that's how they exited. They went into the Red Decade as the Icaria Cartel. Drug smugglers and extortionists, thieves and murderers. It came out as one of the richest, most respectable names in the country. Not that they actually stopped doing any of the thieving and murdering, mind you. Put the top on tight and shake. So they are a crime family, like the mob. This is the 21st century, kid. It's muddier than that. House Icaria is not literally one family, not even one race or creed. They're simply the strongest criminal organization in the city, on paper. But not in practice. Practice is what they're lacking. Haven't had to get their hands dirty, haven't had to maintain a presence in the lower wards in years. They make their profits from investments, blackmail, and more than a little insider trading. So they're criminals, yes, but their muscles atrophy. Time for a taste test. That's not right at all. How did I forget?
Boss? There must have been other criminal organizations 30 years ago. Others poised to take advantage of the changing times.
Yeah?
So what did the Icaria do to set themselves apart from the rest back then?
Stupid. Most important ingredient. Drop of grenadine. What is this Ryukishi filter ass picture of a drink? what is this intentional? Lady Maria. Okay, yeah, alright, yeah, I guess. Boy, is it!
Ooh, it's beautiful.
This is nothing. We'd use a frosted glass if this is for a customer. Looks like a ruby in the right lighting. If you do end up helping Red with the Icaria, don't let the warmth of their golden furnishings confuse you. All that glitters is cold. Alright, alright. It's a good line. That's a good line. Okay, motherfuckers. Okay, you cannot put the Ryukishi filter over a drink called the Lady Maria, followed up with an ooh, and then fucking scene start of the next one, cicadas. You can't do this shit to me. That's not allowed. There are limits to what is tasteful and what is obscene. Not that I mind a little obscene, but how dare you? Fuck, it's the same exact cicada sound effect. It's the same exact fucking cicada sound effect in Higurashi. Oh my god. It was a quiet and eventful drive in the back of the limousine. The privacy, at least, was nice. But with Abbott and Costello riding in the front, I had no way of getting information out of them, not even passively. So instead, I spent the whole ride trying to play out all the different ways this could go. I haven't liked any of them so far. I suppose I could have felt relief or gratitude when we pulled up outside of an imposing skyscraper instead of an alley. I suppose it's a good sign that no one's put a bag over my head or stuck a needle in my neck. But I don't feel like celebrating. For all I know, they really don't have a clue about what I did in the lower wards last night. But for some reason, they placed their attention on me. And there's little I hate more than unwanted advances. I'm also not a fan of being made to wait. Why am I just sitting out here? In here? We were too late. You meant filled the time slot. Ready. Got no chance of B if this other meeting went well. Are we on hold, gentlemen? In the world's most expensive waiting room? Quiet. I take it he's glaring at me behind those lenses, but I'm more interested in the sweat glistening on his forehead. Somehow, of the three of us, I'm the most relaxed. This is becoming embarrassing. Can I at least take in the view while we're here? You can take photos if you like, so long as you're quiet. Really? No, your phone won't work in here. Go figure. There's an anti-script document. I'd love to see just how many references they put on. I would love developer commentary on the script of this game. That would be awesome. Oh, hell yeah, media literacy. Let's go. Is it trying too hard to look unconcerned if I sit down and start reading the news? Maybe. But my boredom outweighs my apprehension at the moment. It's not my fault that they failed to be sufficiently intimidating. PSS Proposition City ahead of its next month's convention. Next month, the city will play host to one of the most competitive political conventions in recent memory, with Senator Mathings expected to face significant opposition from party outliers before securing his nomination. But while the broader notion eagerly anticipates the oncoming political circus, city officials are already under fire for a supposed lack of sufficient convention security. I can't see the word circus anymore without thinking of the fucking 100 line. You'll drive here in the same tiny car! Fucking love that line. Amazing delivery. I will never play 100 line. Let me rephrase that. I will never stream 100 line. It is off the table. It is off the table. The city has already approved a record high monthly budget for the police department, including fully unrestricted overtime for officers of all ranks. But a coalition of private security services, including White Adder, Fang, and Demico, has released a press statement urging City Council to consider contracting their services ahead of the convention. Heartbreak was bad enough. Now we're hearing that cops are dying in the lower wards. When are city officials going to say enough is enough? Said Demico head of press relations Arthur Gall. We have the utmost respect for all first responders. None of us are blaming the hardworking police for these failures, but how could they succeed when political insiders insist that they try to apprehend criminals with one hand tied behind their back? Our contracted forces have world-class training in crowd pacification, preemptive de-escalation, and enhanced interrogation tactics. And any of the subhuman scum who empathize with anarchists who won't dare to leave their mother's basements once we can get our boots on the ground. That's a guarantee. Even for 250k? Even for 250k. Even for 250k. City Council declined to comment when they reached out to them and asked whether they would be issuing a request for proposals on such services. The total city population is expected to swell next month as the national political spotlight draws lobbyists, delegates, political action committees, and voters in ahead of the two-week-long process. I lost it. Most of the community members we spoke to expressed optimism about the increase in economic activity and tourism the convention is expected to bring, but some, who refused to give us their permission to publish their identifying info, rudely and loudly voiced their criticism. 2 weeks for a convention when the nominee was decided 2 years ago? It's a joke, and we're the punchline. Putting the bill to pay cops. How is it that much worse than Steins Gate? It's not about quality, it is about length. 100 line is obscenely long for a stream game, I think. And also, Steins Gate is like that's a whole stream. That was Streamiversary. That's a different category. The article is presented to you advertiser free thanks to the contributions of our generous donors, including Daniel Mass of the Daniel Mass Foundation, Rebecca E. Jones of the Rebecca E. Jones Foundation, Jessica and Ronald McGuile of the McGuile Foundation for the Arts and Sciences, the Rockford Fund for Public Broadcasting, and readers like you. Thank you. Please sign in to read the rest. Okay. I suppose it's less offensive than a bare advertisement or paywall, but why list your donors mid-article? All it does is make my eyes glaze over. Whatever. I got the important part. The city's hosting that convention next month, putting pressure on the council to vote on hiring mercenaries. I believe is the correct one. Supposed lack of sufficient... Yep, city officials are already under fire for supposed lack of sufficient convention security. Heartbreak was bad enough. Now we're hearing the cops are dying in the lower wards. Are contracted forces. Yep. Hiring mercenaries. Oh, whether or not to bring private security contractors on top of the massive policing budget. Makes a little difference to me. Cops and mercs have different quirks, but they all share the same blind spots. I'll be just fine. How the average law-abiding citizen will put up with them clogging the streets for 2 weeks, though. Not like it'll be the least popular decision made next month. Everyone knows Mathens will be the candidate. That was decided years ago. The contested convention will just be him finding the balance between how much public opposition he's willing to stomach against how many favors he feels like giving out. The country's already a circus without any bread. You think the least they could do is make the performances entertaining. What was that in the article about cops dying in the lower wards anyway? Pretty heavy-handed to just make up that kind of thing, even when pearl clutching and pitching herself at the same time. Ooh. Interesting. Go fish? I weren't hyper-aware of the flickering sky hanging over my head. This could make for a lovely watering hole. But those probably aren't even real fish down there. Literal children are capable of keeping goldfish alive, so of course the 0.1%ers can't manage it. Maybe they'd spin it. When their pallid bodies float to the top because of some idiot raised the water temperature 2 degrees, they'd certainly be easy to scoop out. If you're an impatient, undignified idiot, you could argue that's an efficient way to fish. Efficient fishing, you say? How curious. Admire. The illusion isn't unimpressive, I guess. Windows into the heavens sparkling like raindrops across a puddle. Might even be appealing if it wasn't trying to be something it's not. You look up and you see hexagons above you in the lower wards, too. Rich or poor, people just can't imagine themselves under an open sky anymore. Not even in their wildest dreams. Well, I've looked around at everything that caught my eye, and now I'm all out of ideas. Everything except... Maybe they don't know we're here. I'm gonna try knocking. What are you... Hey! Before I get the chance, creaking oak draws my attention to an alternate entrance on the other side of the water. Hello there. You seem important. Like, culprit of the case important. Jelly, are you excited to meet my new favorite character? Interesting. My favorite new character. Gotcha. Stop staring and get a move on. That's the kind of man walking out of this place. Who's waiting for me inside? 4:09 p.m., August 14th, 2086. Cardia Tower, residential floors. Grand Hall. Pomp and circumstance, ceremony and ritual. For some reason, I thought that the Mafia, of all people, would be a little more efficient in their execution. A little more honest about what they are. Evidently not. Artifice with every glance, costumes and makeup abound. Is this disappointment? But even here, in the supposed bowels of the underworld, there's no escaping the etiquette of it all. She's the one. Doesn't look like much. Suddenly, their posture stiffens even further. True feet. Their necks subtly turn towards the pair of doors in the back, each of them attuned to some signal I'm not receiving. Be still. The young master returns. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. Nice. Hello. Hello there, small child. You're late. Hold on. Wait. Young master, sir, everyone slow down. We came as soon as we found her, sir. Traffic was just some sassy, lost child. Silence. Yes, sir.
What time were you told to return by?
4 o'clock, sir.
And what time is it now? Permission to check my phone? You're late. You were tasked with finding one woman and bringing her here in a timely manner.
Sir,
You'll speak when I tell you to, and not one word further, or else I'll have your teeth removed, by way of curbside. Is this a prank? Am I being recorded? He who wishes to fight must first count the cost. So says Sun Tzu.
Please let this be a prank.
and I don't think you can fathom the cost your tardiness has incurred. The lead up to my execution is some kid reading from Art of War. I might just... What is the #1 rule in this family?
Timeliness, sir!
When money gets wasted, it can be replaced. But time only goes one way. It's always running out. The loss is permanent. Every second wasted is a scar on this house's face. Timeliness is next to godliness. So say I.
Oh, God.
If you two ever waste my time, the house's time, again, expect to be dragged through hell.
I'm already there.
Now both of you get out.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Useless. Wait. You. Red woman. You're being addressed.
Forget pride. I just want to get this over with as fast as possible.
You're the lawyer, correct? You may answer.
As fast as possible.
I am a lawyer. Morgan. Criminal defense. Mr... How should I address you? As all outsiders do. By my name, Makoto of House Ikaria.
February 27th. Wait, such impudence. Heir apparent, unemployed, student, likes biographies, shogi, amber, dislikes tardiness, tarnish, group assignments, fave figures, Saladin, Sun Tzu, Hannibal, favorite phrase, Vae Victis, literally, woe to the conquered, relaxes by building, painting models. You didn't say the blood type, it's A-, I apologize.
You, Morgan Criminal Defends, have the great honor of being summoned before me. Don't bother bowing. Once you start, you'll end up prostrated all day, and we have important work to do. Right. Out of an abundance of respect for your time, Makoto, I should let you know that I still have no idea what I'm doing here. Oh. I'll have the meal and a bed of nails later, or some such thing. Mrs. Defends.
Mrs.? Really?
The house has need of your legal services.
Oh.
Would you give me a moment to clear my throat? I need to switch gears. Right then, so you want to hire me. One of our own is being slandered by multiple homicide charges. You will defend him. You want to hire me, and I'm flattered, Makoto, but did you pull my name out of a hat? Pick a random page in the phone book? I have many books on my phone. Libraries full of esoteric knowledge. I have many books on my phone.
I'm laughing, but you're literally listening to books on your phone right now. That's not the joke. The joke is that she said phone book, and he's saying he has books on his phone.
Libraries full of esoteric knowledge spread across countless tomes. You will have to be more specific. Sorry, I misspoke. What I mean is, this is House Ikaria. You must keep a small army of lawyers on retainer. Surely any one of them would be happy to help you. True, we have lawyers. Competent ones, expensive ones, and some who are both. The best of them are all preoccupied.
That's it? They're all just preoccupied?
Preoccupied means busy. Thanks. But I'm still not sure how my name specifically was... Do you have a customer survey you want filled out, Mrs. Defends? You were recommended. What does it matter how it came about?
Normally, it wouldn't matter. The client I'm recommended to is one of the richest, most well-connected families in the country. It gives me pause. I don't have any friends in high places. Not anymore. That makes it hard to see this as a favor. Not when my employer doesn't even know my goddamn name.
Of course, my apologies. No doubt you have other questions. Very well, I'll permit you to ask them.
Such a gentleman. House Ikaria. I wasn't brought here because of what happened last night, and this is just another job. Meaning all of this, starting back at the bar, this has all just been their idea of a power move.
Thank you for insisting that I get to your estate in person. It's beautiful here. An oasis of old-world sensibilities amidst a desert of steel and neon eyesores. is what the house elders say. Never seen anything like it. Matches your family's reputation for class. My family's reputation is power, not class. Take it a step further and guess you're renowned for violence rather than power. But that's a moot point. Violence can be classy. And from how this house is talked about in the headlines I read on the drive over, the nature of your family's reputation seems to vary greatly, depending on who you ask. How long until Sarah talks to them? How long? Why are you excited to see what it sounds like whenever two characters with the same voice but different affects interact with one another, and I've got to do fucking D&D DM voice and have conversations with myself when I can't really pull that many out of a hat, and really this is just Sarah's voice but with less robotic intonation? Some think you've got half the gangs in the city under your control. Others think you've left all that behind and are no worse than other corporate families. Are you expecting me to ask you what you think? What I think is that I'll need some basic information if I'm to adequately defend your interests. We're financiers. You don't say. Lending, investing, taking over, buying out. The Ikaria Financial Group was founded nearly 2 centuries ago. Loading funds is high risk and high reward, but as you can see, the results speak for themselves. The Ikaria Financial Group is a private investment company and one of the nation's most exclusive asset managers as of 2086. We believe that investing should be accessible to anyone, and that's best accomplished by tailoring their investment portfolio to suit their specific needs. Interested in working with us? Let's get started on your profile below so we can determine your options. Remember, even if you unfortunately aren't a very good fit for IFG itself, we'll always be happy to set you up with one or more of our partners that are better suited to your class. You should have switched voices when the yellow text starts. When the yellow text starts on this one? Not interested in sponsored search results? See further with a premium account. I see. Not impossible to get this rich with loan sharking alone, but such unsavory work wouldn't get them into the ballrooms and boardrooms tiers of society. You gotta rip people off with mortgages to do that. Is lending the house's only income stream? No. Though Aurea, our holding company, the house controls any number of what a civilian like you might call legitimate enterprises. And yes, we did found the Renasian Pharmaceutical Corporation, but what's past is prologue. Renasian? They're a drug company? One of the biggest. Or they're a drug company, one of the biggest. Saying you've no relation to Renasian presently? The company went public years ago, and Aurea divested our shares not long after. We were given 1 seat on the board as a formality. That's the extent of it. Given. A family like this only takes. Why is he suddenly so humble? He doesn't know the meaning of the word. If he's downplaying their pull with Renasian, the house must have a reason to want to distance themselves from the company. Renasian is a global leader in pharmaceutical research, development, and distribution. A company that puts your health before any other concern. Our groundbreaking research into combating modern medical challenges has helped millions live happy, healthy lives, and we're proud to keep fighting that fight as we pursue our corporate goals. Put our medicine in the cabinet of every home. Improve patients' lives and their communities. Minimize our environmental footprint through sustainable ventures. Operate with dignity and pride in our ethics. Deliver consistent, steady growth to our investors. Shortly after our founding, our researchers developed metformin, the first orally ingested treatment for type 2 abnormal diabetes, freeing millions of adolescents suffering from its effects from being subjected to painful injections. Since then, we've gone on to improve on our formulation, and that constant dedication to perfecting our medicine has made us a national leader in pharmaceutical biosimilars. Biosimilars. We're obsessed with perfection and driven by purpose. We'll never stop searching for the next step in the evolution of what it means to be healthy. Not interested in sponsored search results? See further with a premium account. You're being very modest, Makoto, and more than a little vague. It's only polite. It's unnecessary talking to your lawyer. You aren't my lawyer. You aren't my lawyer, Mrs. Defends, but you will be working for me. So you'll have to become accustomed to putting your needs second. He's deflecting, and if he's trying to be subtle about it, he's not doing it well. I doubt it's possible a company with as big a boot of heel as Renogen to have no relation to anything that happens in the city, but I'll drop it for now. I'm in no rush to wade into boardroom politics again anytime soon. Hold on. I'd like to know a bit more about you, actually. How long have you... I'm the only son of Raphael Icaria, and the only grandson of Daisuke Icaria, CEO of the Icaria Financial Group, patriarch of this family, and chairman of the house. I gather that those titles are all one and the same. As one destined to succeed the headship, commanding the family's servants is my responsibility and my birthright. So if one of them needs a lawyer, it falls to you. When our loyal men, women, and their families need help, it is my solemn duty to ensure that they are taken care of. And your age? What a boorish question. I knew that peasants raised outside our stratus had little understanding of the finer things, but I assumed that one with a law degree would be educated enough to know what is and isn't appropriate to discuss. Just because I'm younger than some does not mean I am any less capable of managing the people who work for me. Does it, men? Sir, no, sir! You definitely command their respect. That is no coincidence. One of the most frequently noted characteristics of great men who've remained great is loyalty to their subordinates. So says George S. Patton. That's so interesting. This is an important point. Perhaps another quote is called for. I don't think that's necessary. I'll grant you another. If soldiers are punished before they have grown attached to you, they will not prove submissive. And, unless submissive, then will be practically useless. Wait, useless? So says Sun Tzu. Back to back. Yes, a second quotation was called for in this instance, if only to emphasize that no one stays useless to House Icaria for very long. One way or another. This manor. I'll admit, I was a little taken aback to step off an elevator and into your enclosure out there. Gardens? Yes, our groundskeepers work hard on them. Does the illusion of the sky come from a live recording of somewhere else? Or is it generated programmatically? That'd take quite the equation. It is impressive, yes. As for how it works, I don't have the technical minutiae in front of me at the moment. That's okay. Of course it is. A lion does not concern himself with the exterior decorations of the sheep. Uryu. It's your exterior and your decorations. What does it matter anyway? If you want the specifics so badly, I'll have one of the servants put you in contact with the contracting firm. That's alright. He tells me the consultation alone would break my bank account. The black suits? I do appreciate the warm welcome, Makoto of House Icaria, really, but legal consultants are usually more private than this. Are we certain we need the peanut gallery? Let it not be said that House Icaria is not accommodating of its guests. We're more than capable of compensating for this nut allergy you allude to. That's so sweet of you! But do all of these guards really need to be present for this conversation? If you're referring to the additional security, it can't be helped, circumstances being what they are. Circumstances? And if you're referring to my retainers in general, then I suggest you step back into the garden and take a deep breath. Clearly, the city's fumes do not agree with your constitution. You must be lightheaded if you think that you're worthy to hold a one-on-one audience with the next head of this illustrious house. He's a prodigy to be this insufferable at such a young age. Thank you for indulging my curiosity so graciously, Makoto. Conquer the stingy through generosity. So says Buddha. Correct. Perhaps your education is not quite as deficient as I feared. But I should make clear that in this case, I was using the quote to subtly imply that you are stingy with your own graciousness. Got it. Yep. Shall we move on? I believe you mentioned a homicide? Multiple homicides. Tell me more. My head of security was arrested by the police last night in the lower wards. They found him brutally beaten, drugged, and tortured. And instead of bringing him straight to a hospital, they arrested him for murder. He's been framed, and you must prove his innocence. I love the sketchy style on that. That's so good. One instant. She's Boo Boo the Fool. Is there something wrong with your voice? Is this that peanut allergy you mentioned?
No, just lost my train of thought for a second there. I'm not used to my luck changing this fast. One of the richest families in the city wants to pay me to prove a man's innocent of a crime I framed him for? Right then, might I ask why he was found in the lower wards? I get the impression that Ikaria territory is generally positioned more vertically.
This whole city is our territory, but it's true that our presence is felt more strongly in some areas than others. We captured him early yesterday. He was ambushed by cowards and dragged down to that stain of a neighborhood to be tortured senselessly.
Well, he was tortured, I can attest to that much. But I don't believe in senseless violence. There's always a purpose, and it's usually staring you in the face. People just don't like making eye contact. Do you have any idea why he was taken, or by whom?
It was the Blue Bloods. They made no effort to hide it. In a worthy opponent, I might call that commendable, but knowing them, they're just too stupid to value deniability.
I'm sure. And I'm sure there's no love lost between your groups, but kidnapping and torturing
is beyond the pale, I agree. And the police are even worse. I expected no help from those incompetent fools, but these charges they're making, they're utterly ridiculous.
Of course they are, but don't worry,
to think they want to pin 5 murders on him.
5? Did you say 5?
Yes, 5! It's absurd!
I can only take credit for 4 bodies. Acting so high and mighty, so affronted,
so eager to blame us for the death of one of their officers.
Dead cop. Is this what those mercs were advertising themselves with? What do you mean one of their officers? Was there UC, or...?
No. They made this ridiculous claim that he killed some uniform while resisting arrest. As if a member of our house would fear prison.
Should have never dared to think I got lucky here. The circumstances sound very complex, Makoto. And the police take the death of one of their own very seriously. What makes you so certain of this man's innocence?
Because this man's name is Sosuke Ikaria.
Hound.
I've known him all my life.
All 3 or 4 years?
There is no individual more honorable, more devoted, more trustworthy. And not once have I ever known him to be
violent?
Impulsive. He didn't do this. I know he didn't do this. Proving that is your job.
About that. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, Makoto.
But you will. If for no other reason than because we shall pay you. More than you customarily receive for a contract. Considerably more.
Not everything's a question of money.
Yes, your meaning is taken. It needn't be silver and gold. You'll have no complaints with your compensation. The favor of House Ikaria can go a long way in this city. As can our wrath.
I don't appreciate being threatened. I don't find it funny, even coming from a kid. However, if the state thinks whoever killed those 4 Blue Bloods also killed a cop, I can't afford to sit this out. They'll go over every centimeter of that building. One wrong move, one hair out of place. If I lose here, I lose. Period. If I win, throwing an Ikaria-sized wallet in the pot beforehand is all upside. I understand, Makoto of House Ikaria. I'll take Sosuke's case.
You say that as if it were ever in doubt.
True prodigy. Thought he might be right. Maybe it never was. Chose to put that gun into this Sosuke's hands when I could have just plunged that knife into his temple. Maybe the line drawn from that moment to the razor's edge I'm walking right now is perfectly straight. The line drawn from one point to another is always perfectly straight. A better metaphor would be a bullet's trajectory. For all the talk of wind resistance and breathing patterns, or the Coriolis effect and chaos theory, you can't exactly act surprised when your shot lands right where the crosshairs were pointing. I want to mess up his hair and give him a juice box. He'd kill me. Morgan's my last name, by the way, before you start writing any checks.
You should have enunciated.
Got his ass. Bullet trajectory aren't straight. Yeah, that's what the metaphor was. Pub, that was the metaphor. The metaphor was it's not exactly a straight line, but it goes where you're pointing. Or rather, you can't be surprised when it ends up where you're pointing. She was using bullet trajectory specifically because it wasn't a straight line. In transit. Hey there, boss. Of course I'm fine. What did you think was gonna happen? Yeah, all good news. I've got quite the paycheck coming my way. Maybe bad news for you if you get a large crowd tonight. Should have enunciated. Listen, your reading comprehension is a consistent problem. I don't know that even with my English certification, I'm qualified to amend it. Yeah, tell Sarah to meet me at the police station address I'm about to send. I've got work for her to do. Quite the paycheck indeed waiting for me, assuming I can win. But can I afford to accept it? Ugh. Hey. Were there any of those jokes around the office about your clients being connected to organized crime true? What? Is this some kind of honeypot? Trying to get a grasp on something. Now I know you're baiting me. World's easiest, that's what she said layup. I still don't basket that shit. Still basket that shit though. I don't give a assumedly fuck. Why do you make everything so hard? Come on. Come on, Freckles. Low-hanging fruit. I have no idea what you're talking about. Obviously. Why are you asking me about mafia shit, though? I'm working a case for the Acadia, whom I assume you've heard of. Definitely. Under circumstances that are probably vulgar. Absolutely. Which you'd be happy to brag about to me. Anytime. But I'm not well positioned to turn the job down outright. Or turn down the job outright. So I'd like to know whether they'll be resistant about parting ways afterwards. Why? You not like getting paid lots of money? I don't like being chained. Fair enough. So you're like, just asking for my advice? The aura loss is incredible. Fuck. Not going to attempt to parse that. I doubt you ever could. My generation's sense of humor is practically impregnable. It's a very basic non sequitur, Auntie. There was a very basic non sequitur, Auntie. It just wasn't funny. Not even. A non sequitur would be, what's the charge? That's just getting back on topic. The charge is homicide. 5 counts. Meh. You're probably fine. All the stuff you hear about mobsters being clingy with their lawyers. Because they don't want anyone who's been through their underwear drawers running around. Telling tales. Whatever poor fucker they pinned multiple homicides on. It's obviously not anyone important. I don't think he was framed. Not by his own people. Nah, pinned as in stuck with. Like a chore. Powerful people, mob or no. They get lawyers, it's for tax evasion and conspiracy charges. Dirty work's left to the pawns. The whole point of a pawn is you don't have to think twice about trading them off. Alright. Guess I know the rumors are true then. Haha, yep, you uncovered my cool fucking secret. Listen, actors, singers, celebs. They all like expensive things and being the center of attention. Mobsters have money to burn and want the cologne of legitimacy. Everyone wants what they can't have. Okay, chill, F. Scott Fitzgerald. Great looking gasp he has. I still pine for thee, motherfucker. What? All I'm saying is there's mutually beneficial. These are just pester logs, by the way. This is 1000% how a pester log is written. Exactly how a fucking pester log is written. Between the rich and famous and the rich and infamous. So you bet your ass I was in those rooms, negotiating appearance fees and taking my 30%. 30%? You really are shameless. That's what she said. Alright. Thanks as always for the sage counsel. Hey, if you're really feeling grateful, do me a solid and call your rents.
They say they never hear from you. And I know you can't be that busy. You're bored enough to talk to me. They're the ones who are busy. Masters? There she is. Wait, depends on the time of day. Question mark, question mark, question mark. AB negative. Lawyer to the rich and famous, semi-retired. Likes waterfalls, manicures, macadamia nut. Oh, good choice. Macadamia white chocolate cookies. Oh, I could go for some of those right now. Dislikes getting ghosted by my adorable goddaughter. Drink, cosmopolitan, double. Collects favors, friends in high places. Luck, SSR on the first pull. Okay, question for those of you who have read Of the Devil, Episode 2. I'm thinking it's probably a 3-streamer. When is a good stopping point? Because I would like to only go for 4 hours today, since I wasn't planning on streaming and I have work tonight. Now or after the next scene? We'll call it after the next scene. I'd say after this scene. Not sure if there's a better one after. Okay, gotcha. So after this scene, we will call it a stream. A little shorter, but, well, no, this will probably take 40 minutes of reading, I imagine. Well, at least 30. Obviously, I wasn't sure what would happen after I left that crime scene, and I wasn't sure what I'd find walking in here to speak to my client. But I definitely wouldn't have bet that the next time I saw this man alive, he'd actually look worse. Aaron Yeager looking ass. Did you not hear me? I said I'm your lawyer. Oh, I heard you. Just not interested in wasting my breath responding. I'm sorry, is there a misunderstanding here? Not at all. I understand exactly what you are. You and all your fellow... Your companion is staring at me very intently. Sarah? Blink. You're embarrassing me in front of the Yakuza. That's a very dated word. You'd really prefer I call you an orca? I prefer you give up and leave. What are you talking? I'm sure they told you I've been softened up. That they'd broken me and I'd be ready to sign whatever you put in front of me. Sorry to disappoint you. The Hound of Icaria doesn't heal. Cool. Sosuke, I'm gonna repeat myself plainly and slowly because you clearly have multiple head injuries. I'm not a lawyer. I am your lawyer. Ah, right then. Very good. Thank you for coming. I apologize if I misspoke just now. I'd misspeak too if I'd lost as much blood as you. Morgan Esquire. I'll be representing you from here on out. Sosuke of House Icaria. Sarah, paralegal and bartender. Very young to have 2 jobs. Tend bar. Well, it is only part-time. Right. So tell us, Sosuke of House Icaria, what is your routine? You look very fit. What? You asking about... Do you not have a file on me? Do you not have me on file? Sorry, which firm are you from? DDD? MPM? I'm in private practice. You mean you're not a mob lawyer? No, but please don't hold it against me. Everyone has to start the path to corruption somewhere. There are serious risks involved in representing a man with my background against charges like these. It's very sweet of you to... They say I killed a cop, miss. I realize I may look a sorry state at the moment, but I have not fallen so low. Sorry, no, I just realized the perfect voice for this guy. I realize I may look a sorry state at the moment, but I've not fallen so low that I'd sully the house's name by dragging a civilian into... Makoto thought differently. The young master. You've seen him. How is he? Where is he? Is he unharmed? He was sitting pretty atop a literal throne, surrounded by armed guards last time I checked. Thank you for that. No one's told me anything, and if the young master has spoken on this matter, I won't go against his judgment. But I do hope you understand what you're getting into. I'm already in it, Sosuke. How well I understand what I'm in is something I think you'd be able to help with. Very well, I will go along with this. What do you want to know? Sosuke. So far, all I know about you is your first and last name. It is a very important last name. But I take your meaning. And in truth, the first thing you should know is that I'm not worthy of it. Why? You disqualified due to pre-existing conditions? I was born Sosuke Hayakawa, 4th son of a distant branch family. The only reason I bear the name Ikaria is because I was adopted into the main house as an infant, in exchange for lifelong service to the main family. Sounds like a great deal. Lifelong. How did you serve the Ikaria as an infant? There are various tax benefits if you have exactly 2 children. Don't be absurd! I am what you would call a bodyguard. From the time I was able to walk, I was trained to be of service to the house by protecting their heir with my life. The time you were able to walk? There are a lot of demand for toddler bodyguards. All that's ever been asked of me is that I stand in the right place at the right time. You mean like in family photographs? Like in front of a blade. Even a child can manage that. The house has given me everything I've ever had, and taught me everything I've ever known. What meager service I can offer in return means nothing compared to the debt I owe them. You view your relationship with your family as a transaction? It is not something so cold, girl. It's a matter of loyalty. Right. So, if you were standing before a judge and they asked your name and occupation, you would say, "My name is Sosuke Ikaria, and I'm an eternal servant for a living." I would say my name is Sosuke Ikaria, and I work as a head of personnel security for the Ikaria Financial Group. And what does that entail exactly? Let me look at the profile real quick. Oh, I got points. Head of personnel security. I would say, Uryu. Ikaria Group. Whetstones. Likes Whetstones, Paperbacks, Matcha. Ooh, AB negative. Interesting. Oh, hold on a minute. AB negative, you say? That's important, maybe. Dislikes the opera, Wasabi, Insects. Would not fuck with Tub of Insects, Chan. Favorite author, Alexandra Dumas. Coffee, Cafe Americano. Default status, non-work related messages will be blocked. I'm the young master's bodyguard, and I lead all his security teams. Nice to properly meet you. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. And I'm Sarah, paralegal and bartender, part-time. Yes, I believe you already mentioned that. It seemed like we were all doing it twice. Well, thank you for your paralegal services, Sarah. And here I had the impression you had no sense of humor. What do you mean? It seems in this particular instance, Adonai, it was you who misidentified his proper manners as being sarcastic. Glad we've all broken the ice. Makoto told me that this all started because you were taken captive yesterday. What happened? It was 2 p.m. The young master had just finished a meeting with a VIP in Crane Tower, floor 108. 2 p.m.? He wasn't in school? I'll ask that you refrain from mocking the young master in my presence. He is a child. Anyone can see that. But you've no idea the pressures that have been placed on him. Whatever my client wants. As I was saying, it was just after 2 p.m. The guy who was framed for murder's favorite author is Dumas. That's hilarious. They're a little cheeky with it seems. Me and the rest of my team escorted him to the elevators along our planned exit route, but our lift suddenly stopped in between floors 61 and 62. That was when I made a mistake. I had a bad feeling. Thought it best to get Makoto to the ground floor ASAP. So I forced the elevator open, crawled out, and pulled him out after me. But just as he got out, the elevator started up again, separating us from the rest of the guard. It was a trap. 50-50 one. Staying wasn't safe either. They could stop the elevator. It's not a stretch to think they could drop it too. He just lost the coin flip when he decided to exit. Yes, Sarah, it was a trap. Floors 60 through 70 were undergoing heavy retrofitting, and, other elevators weren't responding. Comms were jammed. I'd reviewed the entire building's blueprints beforehand. Not very useful information, obviously, but for a floor undergoing renovations. But I knew that there was a construction elevator we could get to, on the other side of the tower. I had to act fast. There was no time to doubt myself, and I did something unforgivable. We left the kid. Picked him up over my shoulder. Oh, well, that sounds like fun. House, forgive me. Everything the young master does for the sake of his name's dignity, and kids are tougher than you think. I think he'll get over it. So you escorted him to the service elevator. I take it that some things... Yes, I'm sorry, but I only remember a few vague details about what happened next. But I'll tell you what little I can. After I activated the lift, Two assailants emerged from under a tarred doorway at my 7 o'clock. One tall, one thin. Tall was around 190 centimeters, and his weight, I'd say 100 kilograms with the mods. Thin was maybe 175 centimeters, but slouched. Modded as well, but what I saw looked stripped down, so he couldn't have been heavier than 70 kilo. They had needle guns, slow to fire and slow to take effect. A memorable choice. Taller one shot first, jerked his arm when he pulled the trigger. A bad habit usually favored by street slinger punks who are used to compensating for the kickbacks of their jailbroken zippers. He might as well have been aiming at the ceiling. Thin lines up his shot properly, its laser sight dialed in on the young master's left trapezoid. I shift into a horse rider stance and deflect the needle with my weapon. The lift door opens behind me just as another shooter steps forward at my 3 o'clock. Or so I thought, but all they had was a laser pointer. Literally a cheap trick. But it worked. I heard a click from 8 o'clock turn my neck, and I feel a weight punched into my deltoid, a dullish kind of pain for an instant. I realize that I'm already going numb, and that's when I squeeze. Squeeze? He's talking about his mods. That's how I've always described it. Others say they flex or pull or hold. I squeeze. Akita Type 2 external thoric booster. Some burst strength and pain killing capabilities, but in short, it's a reflex enhancer. Make 1 second feel like 15. In hindsight, makes you feel like you ran a marathon during those 15 seconds once the kickback gets you. But I digress. I moved. Got Makoto into the elevator and wrenched the doors shut myself, taking 3 more needles to the back in the process. Okay, that's evidence. I remembered saliva pooling on my lip and then cold concrete scratching my cheek. Alright, Sosuke. So you were guarding Makoto. These men laid a trap, targeted him with tranks, failed. Then they take you instead? Yes, to my great shame. You were outnumbered and ambushed, but you still managed to protect Makoto. What's there to be ashamed of? That I didn't see it coming. You're saying this has happened before? Dozens of attempts in the past year. Some headed off in the early stages, some sidestepped entirely, and some stopped with force. Hang on, Morgan says something about squeezing earlier. Surely she isn't modded too, and it's just a coincidence, right? When did she say squeeze? I think she's deliberately unmodded so that she's not able to be traced. I think that may have been mentioned once or twice before. I knew their tactics, and I knew our vulnerabilities. Yet still I failed. Sosuke, that is not incorrect. Adenai. Am I wrong? Shouldn't a bodyguard get at least 1 shot off before being taken down? Shot? What do you mean, shot? You were not carrying a firearm? No. No one in the team had guns. How's that? None of us on the security team had firearms with us. But you're a gangster. I'm a head of personnel security for the Ikaria Financial Group. Walking onto an allied group's property armed to the teeth insults their hospitality and makes the house look insecure, or worse, impotent. And I'm not a security expert, but I do think there's some gray area between armed to the teeth and empty-handed. I mean, didn't you just say you deflected their attack? I was not defenseless just because I wasn't carrying a gun. Oh? I had my sword. So lame. So cool. Okay, so some evidence that is likely to be used in the case, already trying to go forward with this one. Some evidence that is likely to be used in the case. Swordsmanship that was used to kill Trey was extremely sloppy. If he is if he's head of personnel security and his primary weapon is a sword, it would not have been used like that. Additionally, if he doesn't carry a firearm, it's very likely that the shots that Morgan got off during the encounter are not practical for someone like him. 2 shots, both of them exactly where they needed to be, not likely. No prints on the katana, he could have just wiped them off himself, assumedly. Also, no, I think that's all I can formulate right now. You walk around town with what? A samurai sword? You just assume that it's a katana? Is it? Yes. It is a signifier of my position within the house, and shows that I am acting as a representative of it. It is ceremonial, then? No, it is quite sharp. I can attest to that. Though it's probably in terrible condition by now.
seeing how this city's police manhandle everything else they touch. Speaking of which, perhaps we should move on to the night's main events? They tried for Makoto, got you instead, and took you to the lower wards. Why? I've been wondering that myself. Aren't you essentially worthless? Jesus! As a hostage, she means... I know that. Thinking back, I was surprised myself to wake up at all, alone in captivity. But it seems they had questions they wanted to ask me. What do you remember? Whatever they used on me, I can remember some things, but how much of it was real, what happened, what order it happened in, it's all... Just say whatever comes to mind. Could be anything, sights, smells, voices. There are no wrong answers. I was bound, my wrists bound above my head. I'm sorry, but I need to say my outro. I see. Tied to something that smelled like iron and rattled like old iron. Tiles beneath my feet, some kind of bathroom or decontamination area. Good guess. They asked me questions. I said things, loose lips, like being drunk for the first time again. But I'm confident that other than vulgarities, it was all incoherent. Because there were shocks, taste of blood. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a good one, BT. Good to see you. I must have bit my tongue during the spasms. And there were beatings, of course. I wouldn't have guessed. Adonai, do you need corrective lenses? Sarcasm is just how I grieve a lost opportunity, Sarah. Lost opportunity? Yeah, it's a damn shame. From what I can see, a pretty face like yours would go a long way with the jury if it wasn't pulverized. Ridiculous. Is he blushing? I agree about his face, Adonai, but I don't believe it is his only strong feat. Let us move on. Really? Well, in that case, how did your captivity end? Do you recall escaping? I was blindfolded the entire time, but my ears weren't boxed so bad. There was a door that squeaked and whined, so I always knew when someone was coming or going. One voice asked questions mostly. It was light. Another voice grunted when he hit me, heavy. Other voices came and went, and then eventually, there was talk. Through the door, I heard we were all talking to someone else. A new voice. Was it high-pitched or low? Loud or soft? Doesn't matter. What's important is that it belonged to someone new. Someone besides you and the dead who was there that last night. Did you make out any part of their conversation? No, not a word. But there was a loud noise. Gunshots, followed by shouting and ugly sounds. And then? A hollow pain in my skull as I lost consciousness again. When I next came to, I had something in my hand. In my hands. Something sharp. I didn't even think to ask what it was or where it came from. I just started working at the bindings, rushed and clumsy, poked myself in the process. I cut them loose, and then the gag was out, and the blindfold was so tight I cut it rather than try and... the damn thing must have been acting as a bandage. Because when I took it off, between the light and the pain, I thought that my head had split open. It took me a long time to stand up. I felt like I could lie on that cold, disgusting floor forever if I just... But something was poking me, and tucked into my waistband. A gun. Gun. Imagine my surprise. Checked the safety, the chambers, reflexively, but only saw two spent slugs. I was too tired to be confused, so I just walked out that squeaky door and into red. Just red. And then I was blinking at an IV, handcuffed to a stretcher in an ambulance, some cop reading me my rights, saying that I killed 5 people. No, wait, some judge or official said that later. When I woke up in the ambulance, all they said was that I was a cop killer. Omitting some strong language. I don't understand. You were held captive, interrogated, tortured, but then you woke up armed and were able to escape? Cops didn't ask me any questions, and I wouldn't have answered if they had. It's been nearly a full day, and I'm just now saying it aloud for the first time. It truly sounds absurd. This is your world, Sosuke, not mine. Do you have any theories on what happened? Only 2 possibilities come to mind. In the first scenario, one or more of my captors wanted to kill me, but needed an excuse to do so. So they let me escape. They gave me a knife and an unloaded gun, then wait for me to stumble out so they can mist me and be done with it. But that plan doesn't work. Somehow I limp out of that room and shoot, cut, stab, kill them all. Quite the feat given the condition you say you were in.
Yes, a tale for the ages. But it's not possible. Why isn't it possible? Even if he had the motive and they were stupid enough to give him the opportunity, he was still lacking a knife? Bullets. Well, he had the gun, he had a knife, he was just lacking bullets. In the brief I read, 2 of the pods were shot to death. I'm sure you're highly qualified, Sosuke, but I doubt you can fire a gun without bullets. No, I cannot. As I said, the gun I woke up with had already fired both of its shots. So if we tell the police that the gun wasn't loaded, would that clear Sosuke's name for 2 of the murders? There's no proof that the gun was already empty by the time he got his hands on it. She's right. That gun was some kind of jailbroken mag rail. The only residue it'd leave behind is static. So long as my prints are on it, that's all the evidence they need to claim I fired it. How about that second possibility, then? The second possibility is that someone walked into the building, killed my captors, and then tried to frame me for it. That sounds like lunacy. We've already eliminated the other possibility. Insane trumps impossible. Like it or not, this bad Samaritan theory is our best shot. What is it? I'm just surprised you believe me. You haven't even asked if I did it. I never ask. It helps that I can usually tell. A wise policy for the world you're setting foot into. Not as if it makes any difference here. Even I don't know if I'm guilty. You were drugged and beaten. You're still injured, even now. And we just reasoned that you couldn't have killed your captors without help. What makes you think you might still be guilty? Because I've killed before. A pale spark flickers in the back of my mind. My index finger raises slightly, my lips part. Was I expecting this? Stepping into the criminal underworld? Looking forward to it? A rare opportunity to speak frankly with someone else who's... You mean... Yes, I was in the military. Okay. I've taken lives, many times. That doesn't make you a murderer. Soldiers are given orders. Killed people. Whether or not a superior asked me, who doesn't change that fact. But soldiers... Are you a soldier, Sarah? No? So drop it. She is good at following orders. It can take years to acquire that skill. I imagine it comes easy for androids. Yes, I suppose that's... Wait, that's an android? Did you miss the glowing barcode? And ignore my self-introduction? Look, I'm tired. I thought those were highlights or something. Did my hair catch your eye? You have discerning taste. They're getting so much use out of that plop sound effect when someone's dumbfounded. It's very nice. You see, each strand is actually... Was there something you wanted to say, Sosuke? I've taken lives before, so I know how I feel afterwards. Thin. And how do you feel right now? Right now, I feel... What is it? You remembered something? Yes. After I stepped out that door, I said I saw red. But I do remember one other sensation. I remember the feeling of gripping my sword. That brief you read, it listed all the charges, all the causes of death. The 5th man, the cop they say I killed. How did he die? Oh! Kind of love this conversation. Sosuke has such a unique way of describing things. Stabbed through the back with a sword. Skewered like a piece of goddamn meat. And you've got the balls to ask us to carry him to a hospital? I don't think that's quite how I phrased the request. I've been paying close attention. Would you like me to play back what you said? Or, I've been paying close attention. Would you like me to play back what you said? Not right now, Sparky. Rhea, she's just doing her job. It's not like she's asking. Oh, save the lecture, gray hair! Gray... Come on, my hair isn't... See? London, May 5th. Blood type B+, homicide detective, first class. Likes duct tape mascara. Oh. Dislikes parking lots, ties, honeydew. The best at finding new restaurants. Accommodations, none displayed at his workstation. Wardrobe, more expensive than it looks. Okie doke, gotta run. Enjoy the rest of the stream. We're probably gonna be wrapping up really soon here, because like you said, after the scene, we're good to go. Come on, my hair isn't... It's graying, maybe. In case I haven't made it clear, I never liked you, Morgan. Aw, you're breaking my... I hadn't noticed. Thought I never took you for a mob lawyer. Whatever my client's associations might be, he's a cop killer. Necromorg reacting to the cursor is giving me the heebie-jeebies. You don't like? Yeah. Innocent until proven guilty isn't a phrase I coined myself. Detective Reyes. A-. Homicide detective, 3rd class. Likes sneakers, volcanoes, the Paralympics. Dislikes scalpers, hoarders, anise. Favorite TV show, favorite TV, civil engineering documentaries. Shampoo, dunno, conditioner's more important. Undefeated at volleyball. It's actually somewhat important. Oh, don't worry about all that. The proven won't take us long at all. Do you always take pride in rushing your investigations? Now, I wonder if I could smuggle a Fate Stay Night emote into Joe's chat to give him a more Sakugas mind break, assuming he would ever actually read Fate. You definitely could do it, though. We've all seen the same intake file by now, yes? Ooh. Records. Sosuke Akadia was apprehended at the scene of the crime and placed in the medical transport. Necromorg. Injuries noted at the time. Blood from various sources across the anterior front of the body. Numerous bones in the left hand broken as if impacting a hard surface. Slight laceration found on left hand. Internal bleeding throughout the torso and skull. Bruising and rope burns on both wrists as if bound. Numerous bruises on the anterior front side of the body. Others blood across the tops of feet and pant legs. Largest wound found in the crown of the skull, back of the head near the top. At time of booking, numerous additional injuries were noted, including bruised left eye, busted lip, broken nose, boxed left ear, blunt trauma to anterior, front, right side of head. My client was in a bad shape when he was arrested, but his wounds were treated in the medical transport. Yet somehow, in between arriving at the station and his booking, all his wounds were reopened, and some of them had multiplied. Tell me if you can, great detective. How will we ever solve the mystery of the reappearing fractured skull? The client was being moved between floors. He struggled, trying to escape. And then he fell down the stairs? Really? Was there a lawnmower waiting at the bottom? Look, we're all adults here. So let's just say it. Your coworkers kicked the shit out of him. Well, what do you want me to do about it? I want you to uphold the law. For some reason, I thought you cared about that. Police badge isn't a time machine. By the time we took custody, he was already... He's right, Tiger. What's done is done. You know, you got a snowball's chance in hell of proving your client was assaulted while in police custody. And you'll never get charges brought against the officers who did it. So try asking for something doable. Don't go giving away all my best tricks. The door in the face tactic is already fragile. I want him to see a doctor. You gotta be shitting me. That's a bloody KW in there with military-grade mods. He's not leaving this building. We could have a doctor brought here. And give him a chance to take a hostage. Not the 99 man, Reyes. He can't break his cuffs. Don't say 99 man. You don't know what it means. You're too old. 99 man refers to a theoretical state of being in which a human has replaced as much of their body with cybernetic equivalents as possible, thereby becoming someone who is 99% machine, and yet technically still human. Ooh, this feels like it might be relevant, perhaps. The term first appeared in the speculative fiction short story Carved Out of Marble by M.P. Smith, but it rose to prominence after the 2072 Paralympics when middleweight track and field gold medalist Aid Safran quoted the story as inspiration after breaking the world record at the time for the 800 meters. Since the phrase has been popularized as both a meme and a thought experiment, opening up discussions about transhumanism, since then, the business world, education, and beyond, some social media influencers, athletes, or tech evangelists have taken the 99 man as a challenge, modding themselves as much as possible with the explicit goal of approaching what they see as the current limit for transhumanism. Officially, the individual who has had the greatest percentage of their body mass replaced with artificial analogs is an anonymous male adult living in the Eastern Hemisphere who is suffering from a rare and terminal form of bone cancer before signing up for an experimental surgery offered through How Industries' Theseus initiative. How officially describes the patient as currently living a normal and productive life, though Theseus has never produced any consumer market products and has not published any additional research papers in the last 2 years, leading some to question whether the results are at all replicable. How about a medic who can't be taken hostage? Medical ad? Sure, great. Let's see if we can't negotiate his premium lower while we're at it. Is that a refusal, Detective Reyes? Oh, I didn't say no, did I? Isn't that obvious? Great. He also needs a protective detail. Lady, I swear to... Counselor? Protective details are comprised of off-duty cops. I don't think that'll have the outcome you're looking for. No, but if my client is left unattended one more night, he's likely to be declared unfit to stand trial when he shows up at court with his head caved in. An outcome I genuinely believe you're not looking for either. Even here. What, in the interrogation room? Counseling quarters? Table can't be moved, but if you slide the chairs out of the way, the floor's not actually that hard. How do you even know that? Given what other lodgings he's had in the last 24 hours, I don't think your client will mind. So if Detective Reyes and Detective London take shifts keeping watch... Now we're keeping watch? It is the Homicide Department's counseling quarters. Think I give a shit what happens to that son of a bitch? You think I wouldn't walk in there myself and... You wouldn't. What? It's not in your nature. What the hell is that supposed to mean? You either have it, or you don't. Trust me, if I had the chance to take a swing at that son of a bitch... Yeah, you already called him that. Piece of shit, a bastard, a killer. But unlike every other cop I walked past to get in here, you've yet to call Sosuke an animal. So what? The hell does that matter? The only thing that matters. Got the outsider's perspective, so I know. Your average human can do anything to anyone, so long as they're not a person. Whatever. Think what you want, creep. Well, so long as that's your only request, we should be able to. I need to get to the crime scene as soon as possible. Gotta be... What, like tonight? She's not rushing more than anyone else, sunshine. Everyone up the line has been raring to go on this. Now that Sosuke's actually got a lawyer, well, maybe if that son of a bitch hadn't clammed up all day, we wouldn't... Said it again. Whatever. Pick, then, counselor. The Labubu... What do you mean, Labubu music? What? Do you mean the fidget tubbies? Bully us into guard duty or escort duty, but you can't do both. I need both. You'll have to split up. But I can help with that. Or rather, Sarah can. I can? Of course you can. You can go treat Sosuke. Adanai, I am not trained in... Oh, I love this bit. She's pretending she doesn't remember being registered as my medical ad. Yes, I would never forget that unforgettable experience. But I've never done first aid before. Well, watch a tutorial first. Use lots of sanitizer. Just hand her some bandages and she'll get Sosuke looking good as new in no time. Then you can plop her in front of the door and even 20 crooked cops working together couldn't get her to budge. That much is certainly accurate. I have a strong core, so if I focus and lower my center of gravity... Thanks for the sales pitch, but it doesn't mean shit. Crime scene is in the lower wards. You think, after what happened last night, that any cop with a pulse would go down there without their partner? Okay, sunshine. I'll take her down there. Is everyone else in here huffing Nirvana? London, it's in Blue Blood territory. Blue Blood territory outskirts, really. They lost their whole pod. They'll be swarming the place. Can't go down there without backup. Backup, huh? You know Mac from Contraband? Skinny guy, kind of a perv. Yeah, he's skinny. Look, he's got a crime scene analysis sweeps going on over that place with a fine comb right about now. Drones, probes, the works. They'll have eyes on us before we get within 5 minutes of the place. Whatever. Just keep in contact for once. Hope you're being generously compensated, Eve. Selling your soul to the mob. It'd be a shame if you didn't at least get a good price. Hey, you coming, Blinkers? Gotta find where they store all the med kits in this dusty old piece of... She almost said it again. Go on. I'll be right behind you, detective. Sorry about that. She's still new to all this, really. Not old like me. She does seem to be on edge, more so than usual. It's her first time losing a fellow officer. I think she's taking it pretty hard. Maybe even personally? Did they know each other? Right. You gather up your things, I'll go bring us up a ride. Great. Thanks for all the help, detective. You're a lifesaver. This is one occasion where I wouldn't have any trouble finding the place. Alright. We are gonna call... Oh, no, never mind. Alright. Fucking...
Get us in a... We're almost there. Don't worry. As soon as we get another location change. It didn't take you that long to patch him up, huh? Now we just wait here all night. That clock runs pretty slow. If you're not doing anything else, Detective, might you be interested in answering some questions? Alright, yeah, that's alright. There we go. 5:48 p.m., August 14th, 2086. That is where we are gonna call it on this one tonight. Let's just save the game real quick. Alrighty. Shorter little bonus stream on a Friday since Joe was feeling under the weather. Thank you very much for watching. I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm excited to get into the courtroom part of this. I hope some of the courtroom interactions, gameplay-wise, are a little more polished, a little more clear in what they're asking for. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad I got to start a day early. I'm so happy to have more of the devil. I fucking love this game. Moa is still suffering if you want to... You know what? I think we will raid Moa. Thank you very much. /raid. The rest of this week streams as scheduled. Streams as scheduled for the rest of the week. Yes, we will be streaming tomorrow on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Thank you, Jelly. Looking forward to the rest. As am I. /raid Man of Answers. Alrighty then. Big stretch. Hey, good amount of people here too. Nice. 6, 7. Never mind. 6, 8. Thank you for saving us. 68 viewers. All right, that's gonna be all for me today. Until next time, have a good one, folks. See ya.